Yeah, I didn't think Shota Imanaga was his best. He obviously left a few up in the zone. 3 solo home runs early in the ball game,
including back-to-backs. And the next thing you know, the Cubs are down 3-0. And then they come back. It's 3-2. They've got, I believe, first and third, nobody out, and Tanner Bybee stiffens his spine and strikes out the next 3 guys. I'm thinking, oh, God. Can't even get the game tied? Then Seiya Suzuki delivers 2-run single. Cubs add on an extra run. And then even though Palencia, who 2 nights ago, Hoodie, I thought looked like the greatest closer ever, last night his command was off a little bit. He was able to extricate himself. Cubs win 5-4. And the Brewers split a double dip. Mm-hmm. The Reds split a double dip. And the Cardinals, who got shut out Wednesday, Thursday by the Cubs, haven't scored again since Saturday. Got shut out again. 2 straight days by the Pirates. 1-0 and 5-0. They're 5 back. The Brewers are now 3 back. And here come the Cubbies.
Well, here's what I need you to do. Sending a missive to Chip Carey. Where's your bats, St. Louis? Where's your offense? I think you should send them a little message to let them know the Cubs are coming.
Hey, Chip, it's Cap. Hey, what's up, brother? I found this bat here. Do you need one?
Oh, my God. I think that would be really funny. Get one up yourself, Cappy.
That's exactly what he'd tell me.
That's what he would say.
He would. But that Cardinal team, I mean, like I'm looking at these numbers. Like they're a decent ball club. They haven't scored since Saturday.
Yeah, well.
It's Thursday.
Yeah, like anything else, though, when we talk about the ebb and flow of the season, it's a long season. You're going to have ups and downs. Cubs went through that in June. And now here in July, you take on a Guardians team. And I say hapless or whatever the word I used because even with the 3 solo shots that Imanaga gave up, you look at that Cubs lineup and someone's going to come through. And that's as I watch that game, I go, okay, if you're Imanaga, you're happy those are solo shots, Cap, as he tries to get himself back into the rhythm. You look at that and it looks a little ugly, right? 81 pitches, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs. And it's like, that's not Imanaga-like. But here's the thing. With his 4 strikeouts, here's what you like about Imanaga. The way he commands the top of the zone, Cap. The home runs he surrendered was like middle. And so those are mistake pitches. And Imanaga's better than that. So you're lucky those are solo shots. It's like, okay, you shrug it off because you have in the lineup Tucker and Suzuki and Pete Crow Armstrong and Swanson hitting 5th again, even though he went 2 for 5. Bush, Kelly. All I know is that when I read a tweet from Pedro Martinez, who clearly has not watched the Cubs all season, he's keeping an eye on this series, and he tweeted, man, I didn't know the Cubs had that in them. He thought that after Bellinger, that the Cubs are going to fall off the table with Bellinger gone. Like, excuse me? He hasn't watched them all year and has not realized that there's been unsung heroes all throughout the lineup. We talked yesterday about there's 3 catchers that have been able to come through for the Cubs, starting with Carson Kelly. Bush, there's no room in the inn for Bush with the Los Angeles Dodgers because Freeman's taking it over and is the guy. Bush comes through, and we talked about his numbers yesterday. And now he's an unsung hero. So, even Pedro Martinez has said, oh, my God, the Cubs are good. Well, no blank.
No blank is right. And, this is not a shot at Cody Bellinger. Yeah. It's just a fact. He wouldn't start on this team. He wouldn't. Tell me where he'd start. Would he start over Pete Crow? No. Would he start over Suzuki at DH? No. Would he start over Kyle Tucker? No. He wouldn't start ahead of Michael Bush. So if you just take numbers, and I know he's a good player, let me tell you something. Man, oh, man. This is a really good team, and now, they've kind of steadied themselves. They've won the series already over the Guardians. Now you try and get a sweep tonight. Yeah. You get, greedy. You want a sweep. And then the Cardinals come in. So as they go through this last, it's not quite 2 weeks, a little week and a half in advance of the All-Star break, they've got a chance, if they just take them one at a time, to put themselves in a position where Jed will literally push all his chips in.
A guy that should be an all-star came through in a big way for the Cubs yesterday.
Great stat. Drilled left center field. That one towards the gap. Off the wall. to score. Tucker to third. Suzuki with a rocket off the wall. And the Cubs are on the board. It's 3-1. Suzuki back in. Bybee ready. Chopped up the middle. Right field can't get it. In to score is Shaw. Tucker on his heels. And Seiya Suzuki is knocked in two. The Cubs have the lead 4-3.
Cap, that's the guy. That's the guy. And again, we talk about Tucker a lot and Pete Crow Armstrong a lot and what Swanson is and who's not and how Bush is underrated. But Suzuki, man, the numbers are what they are. They are just solid. Even us hearing the audio, did you hear the crack of the bat, how crisp that sounded?
Suzuki back in, Bybee ready.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So he's right on top of it, man. Suzuki deserving to be an all-star and, to me, not talked about enough here.
Yeah, he's an outstanding player. He leads MLB now in RBIs. And if you look around that diamond, again, I'm not the biggest Dansby Swanson guy offensively. He's a heck of a defensive player. He made a stop yesterday, didn't get the out, but I don't even know how he got the ball across the diamond. He's a great defensive shortstop.
Correct.
Matt Shaw, I think he's going to be a good player. I do. A year ago, we're all like, oh, this Pete Crow, he's fast, he's a good defender, but I don't know if he can hit. And now this year, he's an all-star. So I think that's the development track that Matt Shaw might be on. I'm not saying he's going to be Pete Crow, but he's going to be a really good player. They got to add a veteran third baseman now because I'm trying to win the World Series now. That's what they need.
And then Pete Crow coming through as well.
Bybee deals. And that one grounded to the left side. Roquio takes a big hop. He's got no play with the speed of Pete Crow Armstrong. Run comes in. It's 3-2.
Cap, I think on the recap, that should have been the play of the game because it was amazing. How often, and I texted you this the other day, how often have you seen 3 pickoffs within 2 innings? When's the last time you saw Roquio, the shortstop for the Guardians, not so deep in the hole, but kind of in the hole, and says, no, I'm good. I'm not going to throw to first base. Pete Crow's too fast. Cap, in the major leagues, who again, you're a major leaguer. You see Pete Crow down the line and just busting it, respecting 90, and Roquio says, no, I'm not going to throw. That's something. When's the last time you've seen that?
Rare. Very rare.
Come on, man. That's a hell of a thing by Pete Crow, respecting 90, busting it out of the box, and Roquio says, yeah, I don't have the arm to get there.
And that is a tip of the cap to Craig Counsell.
Yeah.
He may be sniffling his way through interviews, but that guy gets a team to play hard, man. Give him a lot of credit that his team has responded. They play hard on the base paths from home to first, first to second, second to third, whatever the case may be. But as currently constituted, I do not believe if they made no moves, I don't believe they can win the World Series. I don't.
Right.
But that's why there's a trade deadline, and that's why you have prospects and ability to take on contracts. And I think Jed's going to be, as we've heard from Jim Bowden and others, all in to get this thing where he wants it, and then take a run in October, November to see if they can win a World Series. I watched the Dodgers come back last night.
All right.
Sean Burke handcuffed them all night. We'll get to it. But that team, it's star after star coming to the plate. Cubs don't have that yet. They've got to add another bat. For me, that's
I was just going to ask you,
Eugenio Suarez.
Okay, I was going to ask you, what did you think their needs are? Like right now, should they add another bat or should they beef up the bullpen?
I would do both. Yes, to both. And I need a number 1/2 starter. The best available starter, I would like Aroldis Chapman coming out of the pen or somebody like that to be there with Palencia and Keller and guys like that at the back end. And then I want Eugenio Suarez. The Diamondbacks lost again yesterday. So if they do push their chips out and say, we're going to fold our cards here, that's the guy to go get right there.
Has there been any updates on Justin Steele?
He's done for the year. So,
he's done?
Yeah, he won't be back. So
Gotcha.
We'll see him next year. So that's where we're at. He's pretty active on social, great follow. And he was watching the White Sox game last night, tweeting about Kershaw.
Yeah, so he really lets you in on what Major League Baseball players do. They watch other games.
Yep.
So Steele, with him being out for the year, is giving you some insight on what major leaguers usually do. And they're just texting their friends and say, hey, did you see this play? You watch that game? Steele's right on it. He's almost like an analyst. He should be at McKie. Does better than some of the guys I see at McKie. I think he should be there in the studio.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I've said to players, what do you want to do when you're done? I don't know, maybe broadcast. Well, if you're injured, you should get in the studio and do some work or host a podcast. Do something to get used to it.
Got to get ready for the next career.
Yeah.
So I get that. I'm going to give you a great compliment to the Chicago Cubs. We did not talk about this in the meeting because I want to hold this for on air. You know how I do that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a great compliment that someone gave the Chicago Cubs coming up next. And we'll take your phone calls. We see you on hold, 312-332-ESPN, 332-3776. The Cubs, they defeat the Guardians by the score of 5-4. If you were at the game, if you watched the game, let's get your thoughts about the Cubs as they win 2 in a row against the Guardians, looking for another one as they play on the Thursday night game of the week on FS1. It's just amazing. This is what it is, Cap. Turn the calendar, and people love the nostalgia, I think, of 2016 also, but also it's July. Put the Cubs on all the national platforms as much as possible this week. That's what's happening.
It is. And you know what? The vibe in the stadium, and I think Sahadev Sharma tweeted about this. Mm-hmm. It's always a great place to be at. It's always crowded. But when the team's no good, the vibe's okay. But when they're good, the vibe is off the charts, man.
All right, we will talk about that also. You hear from the fine manager of the Chicago Cubs, Craig Counsell, all part of the mix. Kap and J Hood on Chicago's Home for Sports.
You're listening to Kap and J Hood on ESPN Chicago. He is the best American-born hockey player of all time, a 3-time Stanley Cup champion with the Chicago Blackhawks. ESPN Chicago is proud to announce the return of Patrick Kane for a truly special day, Friday, August 8th, a day that matches his coveted number 88.
Let's hear from number 88.
Kaner will be everywhere, just as he was on the ice, including a youth hockey clinic at Johnny's Ice House West at 9 a.m. And you can purchase tickets for an exclusive autograph signing at the Chicago Sports Museum at 11:30. Or a very special Q&A event at Morgan MFG at 6:30. All tickets for events can be purchased at Eventbrite. Just search Patrick Kane.
What's up, Chicago?
Friday, 8/8. Celebrate the legend number 88, Patrick Kane.
Still dealing with knee, hip, or shoulder pain? You've tried the shots, and now they're talking surgery, right? Before you go down that road, hit pause. Hey, it's your friend Tom Waddle, and I want to tell you about QC Kinetics, the leaders in regenerative medicine. They use advanced treatments like cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma to help your body heal itself naturally. No surgery, no meds. This goes beyond masking pain. It targets the root cause and works with your body to repair and restore damaged tissue. 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. And that's not just a number, people. It's people getting back to moving and feeling better. There's no cost for a consultation. They'll review your x-rays or your MRI, and they'll even offer you a weekend appointment. Before you schedule surgery, call my friends at QC Kinetics at 312-809-5955, 312-809-5955. Again, that's 312-809-5955. QC Kinetics, a better way to treat pain.
News just in. Bet365 is now live in Illinois.
That's right. Join Bet365 today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose.
That's amazing.
That's for sure. With Bet365, you can bet on the spread, totals, and money line.
Well, there you have it, Illinois. Download the Bet365 app and get your $150 in bonus bets today.
And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Illinois. TVs apply and app only.
Hey, it's Brandon Mr. Finance, the Millionaire Maker, here to share ways to create non-traditional wealth. At BrandonMrFinance.com, we are using good credit, real estate, and insurance platforms to build for right now and to build generational wealth for you and your family. I know life hasn't always been easy, but me and my team at BrandonMrFinance.com have some solutions that can make life easier by setting up financial freedom outlets to win and beat inflation. Are you ready? Go to BrandonMrFinance.com and book an appointment today. BrandonMrFinance.com. Let's go.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Summer golf is in full swing. Seven Bridges Golf Club is a perfect escape. Just 30 minutes from downtown Chicago with pristine fairways, GPS-equipped carts, and a private course feel. It's the ultimate summer round. Hey, after your game, relax at the Dock Bar and Grill with a cold drink and great food. It is a great spot, let me tell you. 7bridgesgolfclub.com. That's where you go. Jay Moore.
Now back to Kap and J Hood. What do you mean, you people? On ESPN Chicago.
Hey there, wait a minute. Kap and J Hood on ESPN 1000 and streaming on the ESPN Chicago app. Glad to have you in today here on this Deal Breakers Thursday. That comes your way at 8:35 right here on ESPN 1000. Jesse Rogers comes on the program at 9:18 to talk about the holiday baseball weekend. So, Kap, all the places that you've lived, you'll have visitors come by or you'll have family come by, especially if it's a new home. And they'll come into the front door and they'll say, my God, Kap, you and Mindy, what a beautiful home. This is unbelievable. The curbside appeal, everything looks beautiful in here. And you might turn to Mindy and go, well, that's a great compliment, but I know we got to be able to do a few things here. We want to do that. We want to change that. But to someone else, my God, Kap, what a beautiful home that you have. It's a great compliment, correct?
It is.
So when I'm listening to Tom Hamilton, the voice of the Cleveland Guardians, half the game, and I'm listening to Boog the other half of the game, and Tom Hamilton says, the Chicago Cubs are one of the most complete teams in the big leagues. Compare them to teams in the American League. He said this last night as I'm listening. He goes, the Chicago Cubs, think about them in the American League and how they would match up. The Yankees aren't better than the Cubs. Take Judge off the team. What do the Yankees got? Now, Tom Hamilton, he's the last of the dying breed of honest broadcasters that do play-by-play.
Might be my favorite.
Well, I understand, like everyone else is kind of vanilla, milquetoast. They don't want to lose their job. They don't want to say anything against the organization that they broadcast for. Hamilton goes, look at the Cubs in the eye of the American League. The Cubs can compete in the American League themselves, including saying that they're better than the Yankees. So what I'm saying is that you think that the Cubs are good. You're not over the top about the Cubs because you still believe they need an extra at bat, some extra pitching. You and I both feel the same way. But for Tom Hamilton, as is, it's a beautiful house. That says a lot, doesn't it?
It does. So let me just say that again, what he said at the beginning. He said if you put them in the American League, they're what?
They can compete, and that the Cubs are better than the Yankees right now.
Wow. Pedro Martinez is on Twitter. I didn't know the Cubs had this. And then what was the Ron Darling the other day where he said, this is the most complete team I think I've seen.
Yeah.
The Cubs are ready.
So just think about that curbside appeal when people say, oh, my God, the Cubs have a beautiful home. And you and I on a daily basis go, yeah, it's really good. It's good for National League Central, but they need pitching, they need bullpen, they need an extra bat just in case, just to be able to solidify it. But everyone else around baseball is like, look at how complete this team is. Where Hamilton says on the broadcast, man, there are no easy outs in this lineup. My God. He loves the Cubs house when you and I know that there could be a few patches that need to be put on the wall.
There is no question that they have a really good team. And when you asked Jed on opening day of 24. Mm-hmm. Hey, Jed, what do you think of your team? He said, I like what we're building, but we're not there yet.
Correct.
We're not the Braves. We're not the Dodgers. We're not the Yankees. That's what he said. And I remember saying to him, well, how far away are you? He said, we need another year of development and improvement. Our guys have to overachieve. Well, okay, this year on opening day, he said, I like our team. I think we're pretty good, but we need guys to overachieve. Is Matt Boyd overachieving? Probably, based on his last few years with injuries. Is Seiya overachieving? I don't know if he's overachieving. He's reaching the level that he was probably destined to when he signed that big contract. He's a stud. He leads MLB in RBIs. He's already got a career high in home runs, and it's July 3rd. By the way, happy birthday to my son, Garrett. Today's his birthday.
Happy birthday.
And if you look at some of the guys who are overachieving, Pete Crow, now maybe this is who he is, but he's never done this. So there's overachievement. Carson Kelly, nobody thought he was going to be as good as he's been. There's more overachievement. Colin Ray, I don't think anyone thought he would plug and play to the level he has. I'm not telling you he's an ace. Brad Keller on a minor league deal, he's elite. Daniel Palencia is your closer and looks the part, elite. But there's still things, when you get to this point, you got to push your chips in then. Why have a system? You can't go, well, I don't want to trade that guy because he might be able to play if we lose this guy. No, you got to take, here's our shot. You don't get it every year. And if you're blessed with great health by the deadline, push the chips in. Let's go.
Yeah, especially when you have those type of opinions out there about the Cubs, and there are people from the outside saying, oh, man, look at this lineup. Look at what they can provide. Look at the pitching. And this is a team without, in some ways, but yet others are looking at the Cubs saying, yeah, they're on the precipice of something special, having a special season. That says a lot. That says a lot.
It says a lot.
And this is why sometimes, Cap, as you well know, I'll listen to the visitor broadcast just to find out what they think of our teams.
I do the same exact thing. It's so funny.
Yeah, just an insight.
That MLB app, which I subscribe to, and I have the MLB TV and all that, but I will go to the radio call because the TV is more, it's not like some of these cities, like I remember when Vin Scully was alive, he was doing the games by himself, so he would just give you his unfiltered opinions.
Yeah.
Tom Hamilton is amazingly honest, like you said, and you get to hear what they think. What do you guys think? Because sometimes you'll hear him go, yeah, I know everybody thinks this team's really good, but they're missing this, this, and this. And you're like, oh, wow, I didn't think of that.
Mm-hmm. But it's very insightful. Look, we can be in our Chicago bubble a lot, as you well know, you and I. But it's always good to be able to take a listen on the outside to say, okay, what's your perception of the team? And then you have Larry Anderson of the Phillies, who hates everybody. So I turn that on. He's so pro Philly. He doesn't care about the other team.
Is he the same Larry Anderson that was traded for Jeff Bagwell when Bagwell was in the minors?
I believe so. Yeah, it goes in that. He's from that era. You remember him?
Yep.
Right-hander.
Yep.
So that's what I like. So we turn now to the fine manager, Chicago Cubs, Craig Counsell.
Of course, he's fine because we've won 2 ball games in a row over the Guardians.
That's right. Now, if it goes the other way, he's just the manager of Chicago Cubs.
That's it.
But he's the fine manager of Chicago Cubs, Craig Counsell. Thank you, Ronnie. As Craig Counsell in the postgame, from a question from Jesse talking about Suzuki having an all-star year.
As the players' ballot coming up, you really hope Seiya gets some support in that respect?
Yeah, I mean, I think he is super deserving. The All-Star game is there's great players all over the place, and let's say he's having an All-Star year. There's no question about it.
Okay, Cap, not edited. That is not an edit from Jay Moore. We got the exasperation and the sniff. Oh my God,
what
Craig.
Is with Sinus and Snoring MD? They need to do an endorsement deal with him. They really do. To find people at sinusandsnoringmd.com. I know I've been their endorser because I went there.
Yes.
I used their services, and I don't snore now. Phenomenal place. They need to have their marketing people call the Cubs. Hey, Craig, let's do a deal. We want to get rid of the...
I mean, there's no reason for it. This is a happy
He's
time.
not sickly. What is it?
Again, not edited. Just as Jesse just asking the question, and it just exasperated. I mean, you win the game. You have Suzuki that could be an all-star. You already have two on the team.
As the players' ballot coming up, you really hope Seiya gets some support in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is super deserving. The All-Star game is there's great players all over the place, but say he's having an all-star year. There's no question about it.
What is going on? Get him Navage or whatever that stuff is to clean out the beak. I mean, what is going on?
But you can do that, but the exasperation will still be there. He's just never going to be. And by the way, you like a manager is never going to be satisfied. I get that because it's a long season. But he's just milquetoast and just
Be like me going upstairs at 10 o'clock and Mindy and Garrett and Jen, my daughter, and I go, hey, how was the show? It was fun.
They think something's wrong.
You guys just won an Emmy Award. You guys did this. Your ratings are that. Show a little enthusiasm. Yeah, we had a heck of a show today. Hoodie was on fire, man.
Well,
yes.
That's not what you get from the fine manager of Chicago Cubs, Craig Counsell. But he was, though, excited about to announce the All-Stars in the locker room.
So they've announced starters for the All-Star game, and we've got two guys on the list. We've seen some incredible performance, and that's kudos to these two guys for just doing incredible things on the baseball field. Congratulations, Pete, man. All right, Kyle Tucker's our starter in the All-Star game as well.
So there you have it.
Super cool, man.
How about PCA and Tucker, All-Stars?
That's it.
Should be more.
Yeah, I would think that Seiya will get a shot there. I do. Like he should.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got, 73 RBIs?
That would be criminal for him not to be in Atlanta.
Okay, Matt Boyd?
Yes.
I mean, when your team is as good as the Cubs team is, you get more guys. That's just a fact. Matt Boyd looks outstanding. I know Michael Busch isn't going to get in because Freddie Freeman, who's a stud, has similar numbers. He's been voted in. Well, guess what? Pete Alonso has got better numbers than both of them.
I understand, Cap. But it's not like you and I have not talked about this. We talked about this a couple weeks ago about can the Cubs be this good and have that few All-Stars? We talked about it.
Yeah.
Because, again, what stands out about the starting pitching? It's solid, but is it All-Star worthy in a very crowded field of National Leaguers? Same thing offensively. Pete Crow deserving. More than likely he's going to have a great catch in the All-Star game. At least that's the hope. I think he will. And Kyle Tucker was already top 10 before he became a Cub. He was already a top 10 player. And so on the rest of it, we respect Nico Horner because of his on-base percentage and all that and runs scoring position and Michael Busch. And those guys are good, but not all-star worthy apparently against everything else in the National League. But Seiya for sure deserves to be there.
He absolutely does. So I'm looking at Rosenthal has his picks if he was picking the 32-man rosters.
Mm-hmm.
He has Shane Smith going from the White Sox.
Oh, God.
I mean, who you taking?
Oh, well, I mean.
Vargas does not look good as of late. I'll tell you who I would probably, if you want to really be fair, the guy that deserves to go is the pitcher you just picked up. Why am I blanking?
Hauser?
Adrian Hauser.
Hauser, yeah.
Hauser's been magnificent. But in the National League, he has no pitchers from the Chicago Cubs, Rosenthal. He has no relievers, no starters. None of the catcher. Carson Kelly doesn't make it. He has Pete Alonso and Freddie Freeman, so Busch doesn't make it. Ketel Marte and Brendan Donovan at second, so Horner doesn't make it. Obviously, Dansby's not going to make it. Obviously, nobody at third. Then he has Tucker, Pete Crow Armstrong, and that's it. And he does not have Seiya as a DH. He has Schwarber and Ohtani.
Mm-hmm.
So only 2 All-Stars for the Cubs.
That's
sounds what he picks.
It sounds strange, but I think we were talking ourselves into it, talking about certain players that we like that are all-stars on the Cubs, but not all-stars in the National League.
Right.
That's just what it is.
The Cubs have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you're getting an all-star berth and your team is, instead of 51 and 35, 35 and 51, and you're like, hey, hon, what kind of trip do you want to take after we get done here at the end of September?
Right.
But when now you're telling your family, hey, man, don't make any plans for October. We're trying to win a World Series here into November. That's just the way it is. So the All-Star isn't – it's a great honor. Everyone would want to do it. But
I wonder
it isn't top of mind like winning a World Series.
Who's the Rockies? Who they sending? And what's their
that's
process?
A great question.
They're drawing straws? How's that work?
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
They're doing a raffle?
Hey, we got a raffle here. The first prize is you get to go to the All-Star game as a Rocky.
Oh, my God.
I wonder who he does have.
I mean, that ball club's 19-67. I got no room to laugh because I remember last year what that was like. Yeah, I'm not sure what they do there. Maybe Tyler Freeman. I don't know.
Twitch says Hunter Goodman.
Hunter Goodman. Yeah.
There you go.
16 home runs. Yeah. Twitch also had a good one saying that Craig Counsell is the Don Knotts of sniffing because you remember on Andy of Mayberry, Cap.
Yeah, but he would he would do it to do it.
Yes.
Like he was like, well, Andy, Craig's just like, Craig, you just won the division. You had a great come-from-behind win, say it with a walk-off home run. You win 1-0. Shota gave you 9 amazing one-hit innings. Well, it's like, dude, you're in Chicago. You got to show more emotion, man. Like, if I could be his media coach, I'd be like, okay, you want to get guys to run hard? I want to get you to be more appealing at the podium. You're better than that, Craig.
Yeah, well, apparently not.
Damn.
I like the idea of Hunter Goodman being the Rockies representative and then not offering him a ticket. He doesn't did not appear, but All-Star Hunter Goodman. All right, he's not there. His space would just be open down the third base line.
That's it.
They don't invite him because his team's so bad.
And his numbers are good. 286, 16, and 50.
Yeah,
that's pretty darn good.
For a terrible ball club, absolutely.
A horrible ball club.
I see those games late game in like the 7th and 8th, Cap. They have no shot to win, no shot to come back. It's just, but I can't laugh, man, because I'm a White Sox fan, so I know what that's like. That's crazy. Jay Moore, what else is Twitch saying today?
They say they should send the bat boy from the Rockies.
Yeah, just have
that'd be hilarious.
Just tip the cap on the third base line.
Representing the Colorado Rockies,
the bat boy,
Phil McCracken.
Yeah, thank you. He puts his hand up. Thank you, Atlanta. Bat boy, Phil McCracken. White Sox ace, Adrian Hauser.
He's pitched well, man. Do you realize he was in the Cubs minor league system last August, obviously because he pitched for Counsell in Milwaukee, and they released him at the end of August, late in August. The Orioles picked him up. His ERA was north of 7. They released him, and here he is. The Rangers pick him up. They release him. The Sox grab him, and he looks like an ace.
We saw history last night in Los Angeles, and we'll take your phone calls coming up, 312-332-ESPN. Kap and J Hood. We're on weekday morning, 7 to 10.
Kap and J Hood, ESPN Chicago. Welcome to the Chicago White Sox newest affiliate, Vatican City. ESPN Chicago, the home of the Chicago White Sox, celebrating the selection of Pope Leo XIV.
baseball, fireworks, and the 4th of July. Nothing beats a summer night at the ballpark, and nobody does it better than the Schaumburg Boomers. Catch post-game fireworks super shows on July 3rd and 4th. And don't miss the epic drone and fireworks spectacular on July 5th. Get your tickets now at boomersbaseball.com. Feel the boom with Schaumburg Boomers Baseball.
Hi, I'm Bob. At American Sale, our family has been helping Chicagoland bring the fun home with the best products for your backyard fun. And right now, during the Great American Sale, we're celebrating 4th of July. For 10 days only, get special financing for 60 months or cash rebates. But hurry, it's 10 days only and it ends July 13th. And you'll get free delivery and our lowest price guarantee. See store for details. So come in and see us or visit us online. American Sale, bring the fun home.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Are you confident your retirement game plan is as strong as steel? Hey, it's Yurko from Mitch Lyons Wealth. MitchLyonsWealth.com is full of tools for you to access at no cost to make sure you're positioned to win retirement. Go to MitchLyonsWealth.com today and get a free copy of Mitch's book or his retirement documentary. You can set a no-obligation 10-minute call with Mitch and his team to see if strategies they are utilizing might improve your retirement. That's MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
$6 million. The Veroliak Law Group wins again for their clients. You heard me right. The Veroliak Law Group recovered $6 million for a client who was injured due to a medical error. If you're injured, make sure to call the Veroliak Law Group.
Ships of an alien source are approaching from the sky. Radio contact has been attempted but cannot be established. Instructions are to prepare for an attack by an...
Now back to Kap and J Hood.
I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
On ESPN Chicago.
It's the Kap and J Hood Morning Show on ESPN 1000 and streaming on the ESPN Chicago app. We're with you till 10 o'clock. Then it's Clinton and Friends at 10, followed by Pat the Designer and Jason McKie. And for Carmen and Yurko at 12. It's Jesse and Chris Bleck from 3 to 6:30 in for Waddle and Sylvie. Then White Sox baseball as the Sox take on the Dodgers. That's an 8:30 pregame and a 9:10 first pitch right here on the home of the White Sox, ESPN 1000.
Hey, Hoodie, if somebody wants Drew Pomeranz to go to the All-Star game, I'm like, he's throwing 22 and 2/3 innings. Very good. ERA is 0. But guess what? 22 and 2/3 innings in a setup role ain't going to get you to the big Midsummer Classic. Damn.
And there's a difference between a Cubs All-Star and a National League All-Star.
Correct. He's been an essential part
yes.
of stabilizing the bullpen. I still remember, I know I speak for Sylvie on this. I don't speak for him on much, but he's got to co-sign this.
Right.
He and I were out of our minds early in April like, oh, Jed, the bullpen stinks. What's going on here? And from like April 14 or 18 on to now, they're like the number one bullpen. It's ridiculous. ERA in June, the best in Major League Baseball. Drew Pomeranz played a major role in getting that thing stabilized. And where was he? Hadn't pitched in the big leagues since 2021.
See?
So give Jed and his staff a lot of credit, 100%. And he's been good, but he's not an MLB All-Star.
Cap, we had history at Dodger Stadium last night.
The 1-2. Called strike 3. Clayton Kershaw joins the exclusive 3,000 K Club. Kershaw takes off his cap to acknowledge the crowd. What a moment. Mickey's waving at his family now out in front of the Dodger dugout, and he's going to get hugs from all of his teammates on the field. 3,000 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw.
History made right here on the home of the White Sox, ESPN 1000, as the Dodgers beat the Sox 5-4. But Clayton Kershaw is a story, Cap. He became the 20th pitcher to reach 3,000 strikeouts when Vinny Capra took that slider for a called strike 3 in the 6th inning. And, what we saw last night is something, Cap, we may never see on a regular basis again.
It was awesome to watch. I stayed up till the very end of that game. And, yeah, again, the Dodgers are a really good team. The White Sox are not, and they're very young. 4-2 in the ninth, you got to put them away. You do. They have to put them down. And Grant Taylor, he'll learn from that. He's got great stuff. But when he was facing Ohtani, I thought his pitch mix was outstanding. Breaking stuff. He was not letting him get his hands extended where he could beat you with a home run because the guy's that strong. And then he threw him a breaking ball in on the hands. He fought it off and just, because he's so freaking strong, just floated it past Lenine Sosa and in front of the outfielder. He's on. I went, this is not going to end well. I said to my wife, we were up watching it, not going to end well. And then Freddie Freeman comes up. And Hoodie, you look, and like Max Muncy got hurt bad last night. That was scary. They're going to have to go find a third baseman as well. But you look at all the other guys. I'm like, here's Ohtani. Wow, Will Smith, he's a really good player. They have the other Korean infielder who's really good hitter, hitting 3 whatever. And then I'm like,
Kim.
Oh, my God, Mookie Betts?
Cap.
Oh, my God, now here's Freddie Freeman?
Cap,
and, of course, he walked it off.
Cap, Hae-Sung Kim.
That's his name.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Just want to put the name out there. Just be careful.
Yes.
Hae-Sung Kim is the other infielder you're talking about. So, Cap, you understand how much West Coast baseball I watch, right?
Yes.
So you understand that I knew how the story was going to end for the White Sox. You know how often I've seen that from the Dodgers?
I actually thought Grant Taylor was going to go back out in the ninth after a 1-2-3-8 where he was dirty.
Okay.
101. Like, this young kid looks good. And then I see him start to nibble. It's like, oh, boy, here we go. They get traffic, and they get there it is. They walk it off.
Cap.
Tie it and win it.
Cap. I've seen this story a million times with the Dodgers. You can't keep them down. You see that lineup. I see this lineup almost every day. You can't keep that lineup down. I knew they were going to come through because the Sox don't have it. But the story is Clayton Kershaw because of 3,000 strikeouts. Here's a stat for you. So I'm watching the ebb and flow of this game early, and I'm saying, oh, the Sox, they're going to strike out early, and Kershaw is going to be able to celebrate early. That was not the case. Because the Sox had 4 runs early, I'm thinking, are they going to knock Kershaw out of this game? They're looking pretty good. Do you know the first 8 of the 11 hitters for the White Sox were down to 2 strikes and did not strike out?
Yeah.
The first 8 of 11. So I want to give the Sox credit for not just laying down for Kershaw early.
They did not.
Give them
absolutely
credit.
Give them a lot of credit. Can I tell you a fast Kershaw story?
Can I just finish the Kershaw thought? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Damn. So Kershaw, when you take a look at his numbers, Cap, knowing that he's a Hall of Famer, there is Pedro Martinez and Max Scherzer, Roy Halladay, Sandy Koufax, Whitey Ford, John Lester, Adam Wainwright. Those are some amongst the best pitchers, or the pitchers that have the similar numbers of Clayton Kershaw. What I just named for you is about 4-5 Hall of Famers.
Yep.
I just want to make sure that we are able to cement the moment and let the audience know that we're not going to see 3,000 strikeouts on a regular basis anymore. I just don't want to glaze past the history of what we just saw yesterday because that was impactful. It was commonplace to have one guy in a rotation on a good team to be able to just mow down hitters. We grew up watching Nolan Ryan, guys like that. And to see Clayton Kershaw toward the end of his career to do that was an amazing feat. So I just don't want to take it for granted, just like, oh, it was just a game last night. Actually, that was history-making and something that I think will be very rare in today's game after this.
Yeah, and you mentioned John Lester, you said, right?
John Lester's in that same list of similar numbers to Clayton Kershaw, yes.
John Lester's one of my favorite players I've ever had on my favorite baseball team. Love him. Love what he did. Love the moxie and love the cojones that guy pitched with. Kershaw's markedly better. Don't you think?
No question about that.
Like, I know their numbers maybe. Kershaw's amazing, man. That's that's what first ballot looks like. So when he was 18 years old, they drafted him out of I think 7th overall out of a high school in Texas. He's pitching in Class A, and the All-Star game for the Midwest League All-Stars is at Kane County. And a guy named Jeff Hem, who I think is the voice of the Nashville Sounds to this day, AAA, he calls me, he goes, Cap, you want to broadcast the game with me? I'm like, absolutely, in. So I drive out there, and I'm going to call the game with him. And starting pitcher for one of the Midwest League All-Star teams is Clayton Kershaw, the top prospect of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's 18, and he's pitching the first 3 innings of the game. He mows him down in the first. He mows him down. This guy comes up. I couldn't tell you the guy's name. I don't believe he ever made the big leagues. Kershaw hangs a curveball to him, and you've been to Kane County. He hits one over the pavilion in left field, bounces off the roof of the building, and keeps going. And he's running around the bases. I'm like, that's one of the longest home runs I've ever seen at any level. Fast forward. Kershaw becomes Kershaw. I'm at Wrigley getting ready to do pre and post. I'm on the field. I'm working for ESPN 1000. And I got to the station in September of 2015. So this was probably like 17, 18. I said, excuse me, Clayton? Yeah. I said, my name's David Kaplan from ESPN 1000. Any chance I could get you to come on my radio show tomorrow morning? He's like, yeah, I appreciate it. Very nice guy. I appreciate you asking. I just don't really do local radio interviews. I don't. So thanks, but no, I'm going to decline. I said, wow, I call your Class A All-Star game, and you won't even give me an interview. He turns around. He's like, wait, damn. What? You called the Midwest League All-Star game? I said, I did. He said, if you could tell me what happened to me in that game, I'll do your show. I said, yeah. You hung a curveball, and a guy hit one 9 miles in the 3rd inning off the pavilion in Kane County. He's like, what time you need me? He was amazing, and he came on the station. Couldn't have been a nicer guy.
Kap and J Hood, weekday morning, 7 to 10.
This is your morning routine. Yeah. Kap and J Hood.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
On ESPN Chicago. Sometimes the conversation can get away from the team on ESPN Chicago's Kap and J Hood show. Fortunately, there's always room for a sidebar.
Just a quick sidebar, may I approach?
Sidebars on the Kap and J Hood show are presented by Ankin Law.
This is your White Sox Minute. I'm Len Casper. Wednesday night, in front of over 53,000 at Dodger Stadium, the Sox had the Dodgers up against the ropes, leading 4-2 in the ninth before L.A. scored 3. The winning blow, a 2-out game-ending single by Freddie Freeman. It was a milestone night for Clayton Kershaw, who picked up his 3,000th career strikeout on the final pitch of his outing in the 6th inning. Austin Slater tripled and homered for the Sox. who now try to salvage the series finale tonight. Sox fans head to the ballpark next Thursday, July 10th for Yacht Rock Night as the Sox take on the Cleveland Guardians at 6:40 p.m. The first 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a boat captain hat presented by City Cruises. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/promos. This has been your White Sox Minute.
Hey, it's Kap Hood here with Howard Ankin. Howard, I know someone who was injured on the job.
I'm here to help.
My guy.
Howard, I have a buddy who was injured after being rear-ended by a truck.
I'm here to help.
My guy.
Wait a minute. Your guy?
Correct.
Oh, no. My guy is Howard Ankin.
Fellas, I'm here to help.
There's an Ankin Law practice area for just about any injury.
Ankin Law is injury law made personal.
I could not have said it better myself.
Howard Ankin is our guy. Call 312-6-million.
On the Kap and J Hood Show, weekday morning 7 to 10 on ESPN 1000. My guy.
Start counting the days. Country Thunder Wisconsin is almost here with Jelly Roll, Hardy, Dierks Bentley, Cole Swindell. Plus, Gavin Adcock, Ashley McBride, Tyler Hubbard, Zach Top, and many, many more. All your favorite artists together on one stage. Experience Country Thunder Wisconsin, July 17th to 20th. Save up to $46 at participating Walgreens and Menards.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Holding. Defense.
The ref totally blew that call.
Oh, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just one game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs are on so late. Now you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to stop talking now.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Evan Cohen here. Typically, you don't associate speed with quality. For example, you don't go through a fast food drive-thru and expect a gourmet meal to go. Well, here's an exception. If you're hiring, you can find candidates fast who are also extremely qualified for your job. Just use ZipRecruiter. With ZipRecruiter's advanced resume database, you can proactively find qualified candidates in minutes. No wonder why ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. Try it free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
ESPN Chicago's Sports Business Minute, hosted by Danny Ecker from Crane Chicago Business, is heard Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and is presented by Chicagoland BMW Centers.
Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York. Jay Moore.
Follow Chicago's Home for Sports on Twitch at ESPN 1000 Chicago. Kap and J Hood are back on Chicago's Home for Sports. ESPN Chicago.
Mark is in South Bend, and he's with us on the Kap and J Hood Morning Show. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you doing? I want to wish you a early happy 4th of July. Kap,
you too, buddy.
A couple days ago, you had, towards the end of the show, I think it was Tuesday, you mentioned that there was a gentleman that was in a golf outing with a current baseball player that said no way would he support a salary cap in the 2027 agreement, and it seems like probably most of the players in the union won't. And I believe, Kap, that is good reporting by you, because I think the main owners will not support it neither. I can tell you for sure that Mark Walter won't support it. You got both the Yankee owners. Yes, Mark Walters of the Dodgers. Even Arnie Marino won't support it. And I believe Cohen of the Mets and the young Steinbrenner will not support it. I believe also even that Tom Ricketts won't support it, even though he works with a budget over revenue to put a team together. He still won't support a salary cap. And I think Reinsdorf's on his way out. He's been running baseball for the last 30 years, and I think they're moving on from the Reinsdorf mentality in the front office.
Yeah, I don't agree with you that You mentioned the main owners. I don't know what that means. Mark Walter won't. I'm not saying he won't support it. Everyone wants to cut costs. That's the way the world is. But he's got unlimited funds, so it's not that essential to him. But the majority of the owners, the Kansas Cities, the Pittsburghs, the White Sox, the Reds, the Cardinals, the Rays, the Marlins, they're all going to be in lockstep. Lockstep. They want a salary cap. The players that I'm hearing from are saying, no shot. We'll sit out as long as we have to. So we'll see.
So I guess when Mark says the main owners, I guess the most tenured owners, maybe that's
or
what he
the
means.
wealthiest.
Yeah, maybe that's what he means.
Like Steve Cohen, Mark Walter, Hank Steinbrenner. Like, okay, those guys get more money than God. They can do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they lost Max Muncy last night, and it looked bad. Bad. I haven't heard yet if there's a report this morning. I've been looking. I don't see anything. But it looked like he broke his leg or tore his knee up. Well, most teams go, well, we're at our budget. We might be able to squeeze to get a guy in. The Dodgers, they'll be like, okay, what's the offer to get so-and-so? Here, we'll add another few million or another elite international pro. Whatever they do, absolutely, it's all about winning. They don't care the cost. Super cool.
I appreciate CHSN, by the way, showing that Muncy injury about 100 times with different angles. God almighty, once is fine. That's or a couple of times, a couple of angles. They just kept showing it. It was gruesome to watch. And that stolen base attempt right into the knee of Muncy. You just knew that was going to be all for Muncy once you saw that ankle and that leg buckle the way it did. It was awful.
It was gross.
Yeah.
And I like that guy as a player. He's not the fastest. He's not the strongest. He's not the most athletic. Like when Ohtani strides to the plate, you're like, oh, my God, this guy's a monster. He's tall. He's strong. He runs well. I saw him stealing in the ninth. This is a power hitter who hit 50-plus homers and stole 54 bases a year ago. And there he is running like a gazelle. Muncy? Yeah. Muncy's more of that, workman who just shows up and just gets the job done but doesn't look pretty doing it. Him going down, that's a big loss for that team. Big loss.
All right, we got Shot or No Shot. That is in 2 minutes on Kap and J Hood.
Good morning. Good morning.
Kap and J Hood Morning Show on ESPN Chicago.
Damn, you're a pretty man.
This summer, the Roar returns to Washington Park in Michigan City, Indiana. The X Insurance Great Lakes Grand Prix takes over July 28th through August 3rd. High-speed offshore powerboat racing and non-stop action. Boat parade, block party, brewfest, live music, and heart-pounding thrills on the water. Just an hour from Chicago. Make the short drive and feel miles away. July 28th through August 3rd. The X Insurance Great Lakes Grand Prix. Plan your visit now at GreatLakesGrandPrix.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of change. The sound of you driving towards a cleaner, healthier future. Visit ComEd.com/EV to find tools and resources to help make the switch to an electric vehicle easier than ever, alongside valuable rebates for going electric. Whether it's a home vehicle or a business fleet, driving green can save you green. Charge into the future at ComEd.com/EV. ComEd, powering lives.
Parent Petroleum, its customers, and the Parent Petroleum Foundation work together to support local charities in an effort to give back to the community. During their annual Pumpathon event, with every gallon of gas purchased in the months of July and August, fuel retailers donate a portion of their sales to 4 great charities: Folds of Honor, Living Well Cancer Resource Center, Casa Kane County, and Cal's Angels. Be on the lookout for Pumpathon signage at a participating gas station near you. Learn more at ParentPetroleum.com.
Save big on everything you need for your vehicle at Menards. Good maintenance equals longer vehicle life, and Menards carries automotive products to help keep your vehicle on the road. Protect your engine with Valvoline High Mileage Synthetic Blend Motor Oil. It's proven to maximize engine life in vehicles with 75,000 miles or more. Save big money on Valvoline Motor Oil. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards. Live Live from State Street in the heart of Chicago. You are listening to the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago. And this is Kap and J Hood, WMVP, WTBC, HD2, Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Checkmate 1-6, immediate suppression on target.
That's why I see him in the shot.
Shot or no shot with Kap and J Hood on ESPN 1000 and the ESPN Chicago app.
That's why I see him in the shot.
Good morning and welcome in to the Kap and J Hood Morning Show on ESPN 1000 and streaming on the ESPN Chicago app with David Kaplan and Jonathan Hood with you. It's a Deal Breakers Thursday. We have Deal Breakers coming your way at 8:35. But first, shot or no shot. Here's Jacob Santos.
What's up, guys? Good morning. How y'all doing?
What's going on, Sparky? Welcome in.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Jacob, you know what's funny about people is that no matter if you are trying to be nice or trying to be mean, you're always going to be criticized.
Sure.
So the Chicago White Sox yesterday on their social media said, I want to make sure I'm quoting this directly, final, congratulations to Clayton Kershaw on 3,000 career strikeouts. This is at, as you well know, this was at midnight last night. Yeah. This is when it came out because you were
I was
on the coverage, right?
I was watching it. Yeah.
Which is cool. And makes him a gamer, by the way, Cap, that Santos is in here and did the Sox coverage last night and now with us this morning.
I love
appreciated. Much appreciated.
Yeah, that's a gutty gamer.
So one of the Sox fans says, might as well have tweeted this. I just hope everyone has fun on a T-shirt. Sox fans are pissed that the Sox congratulated Kershaw on the 3,000 hit. So even when you're trying to be a good person or trying to be a good organization, classy, Sox fans are like, no, why congratulate him? We lost the game, and it happened against our team. Like, I'm a Sox fan. I knew that was going to happen. I didn't know it took almost 6 innings for it to happen. Right. But I'm good with it because that's a Hall of Famer, and the Sox aren't any good. So it was going to happen last night either way.
And it's history, and it might not happen again for a long time.
Yeah,
exactly. It's super cool. But I did think that the CHSN, I think it was CHSN White Sox account, did you see their tweet?
I did not.
I did not, no.
After the Kershaw stuff, they said, we would like to congratulate Sean Burke on his 95th career strikeout.
Petty.
That's I thought that was great.
It's funny, but it's just also petty at the same time, which is funny. So all I'm saying is that the Sox fan, and it's a thread too on the Sox Twitter, the idea that they're just like, why are you congratulating Kershaw? It was against our team. It was going to happen either way. You just
He's one of the all-time greats.
You're the Sox. You bend over and take it. That's what it is.
All right. Well,
here's Jacob Santos.
Let's actually start with that. That was going to be a little bit later down the list, but let's just start with it. Clayton Kershaw, he reached the 3,000 K last night against Vinny Capra. We were joking last night, you know, if it's somebody like Vinny Capra or maybe even Kyle Teal, maybe they just come up to the plate, don't even swing. It's kind of a cooler story that they're the 3,000th guy. Mm-hmm. But shot or no shot, there is a current active pitcher that could reach 3,000 Ks.
That is a shot.
Do you have a guy? Because I have a guy.
Yeah, that's the Chris
Hold on,
Sale.
I'm looking up the. You said who? Chris Sale?
Shouldn't that be Chris Sale?
So Chris Sale is at 2,528, but he is 36 years old.
So he's
coming off a serious injury, and now we'll keep him out till at least late August.
He's got a rubber arm. He'll pitch until he's 40.
Sure.
He'll get close. That's for sure.
Kershaw made it. You said Sale. Garrett Cole is how old? 34?
34 is Garrett Cole with 22.51.
Won't get there.
He won't get there. Darvish won't get there. Charlie Morton won't get there. Kevin Gossman won't get there.
There you
go.
go.
The youngest guy that's on a track to do that, Jose Barrios. How long is he going to pitch?
Ooh. Okay, you have Barrios, but I was thinking Nola. He's at 1831 at 32 years old.
No shot.
He's got
no shot.
I would say no shot.
If it's going to happen, it's going to be a lefty because those guys last forever.
They last longer. Okay.
I mean, there's dinosaurs, Jacob, and then there's lefties.
Yeah.
I mean, they last forever. Look, we saw Jamie Moyer pitch until what, Cap? 42? 43?
46.
46 with the Rockies, right, at the end?
At the end.
I mean, look, he was throwing lettuce up there, but the point is, though, he was still competitive.
Yeah, Rich Hill. Is Rich Hill a lefty?
Rich Hill's
a lefty.
Lefty.
He's still in baseball.
Yeah, he's 45 years
Rich
old.
Hill just got lit up
28.
for the who? He's in the minors right now with who?
Don't know.
Hold on. Rich Hill just got battered about. I was just reading about Rich Hill. Rich Hill right now is playing. It started in 2005, man.
Yeah.
2005.
Yeah.
He is playing in somebody's system. I don't think it's the Cubs system. He's in the Royals system. He's pitching for the Royals. He is 45 years of age.
So I believe, to get to 500-plus strikeouts for Chris Sale, that's what's left?
It looks like it, yep.
Okay, so
he's got a shot.
That's three seasons? 4 seasons?
I get the whole lefty thing. If I were to make a bet, I was going to go ahead with Aaron Nola, just because of the age.
It's a rubber arm for the lefty, though, Sale.
Yeah.
I mean, Cap, first of all, when we first saw him on the scene, we said that violent whip of his arm, there's no way he could ever stay healthy on a regular basis.
I remember Steve Stone telling me that dude's going to have to pitch out of the pen. He can't sustain what he's doing. Well, he did. He blew out the elbow. They fixed it. He won a Cy Young again. But Rich Hill, still going. Do you know his nickname, by the way, don't you? Dick Mountain. That's his nickname.
Ooh.
That's a really good name. Yeah.
Dick Mountain.
How tall is he?
He's a tall guy, actually.
He is. He's
big.
But I don't think that they're talking about his height.
Yeah,
I think they're talking about something else, Jay Moore.
Big Richard.
I think that it is.
Big Richard.
Now pitching, left-hander, Dick Mountain. So here's Mountain.
Yeah, who's the other guy? Dickie Lovelady is with the Mets.
And cut. You know they cut him? They cut Dick Lovelady.
Rich Hill is 6'5", 220.
Yeah, so that's why. Mm-hmm. I mean,
that's a big.
Yeah, that's a big what? Here's Jacob.
All right, going back to the Cubs All-Stars last night. We know PCA and Tucker, they're locked in. Mm-hmm. But as you guys mentioned, there is a difference between a Cubs All-Star and an NL All-Star. So here's that list of other Cubs All-Stars that could be awaiting a nod to the Midsummer Classic. You guys mentioned Seiya Suzuki, possibly Matthew Boyd. We kind of gave up on Nico Horner, but let's just remember Carson Kelly was also, I think, came in second as the catchers voting so far. So shot or no shot, the Cubs get over 3.5 All-Stars.
That's a no shot.
3.5 All-Stars. Wow.
So you kind of assume Suzuki's probably for sure going to make it 3.
So somebody that's a pitcher,
Boyd.
someone else?
Yeah.
But who's the pitcher? It's got to be Matthew Boyd.
I mean,
I'm asking you guys, 3.5.
I gave no shot. I think that's a solid 3, Cap.
I am going to say I would take the under.
Okay.
So just like it's one more, and then that's it.
That's it.
And
so it's no shot that it's over.
And Jacob, I know it sounds strange for a team that's played pretty well this season, obviously in first place a lot this year, but it just goes to show you how balanced this Cubs team is, because you can't put them all on the first baseline at Atlanta to be all-stars. But the point is, though, is that this is why so many national pundits are admiring this Cubs team, and they're saying, man, Michael Busch is good. He may not be a National League All-Star, but, boy, he's good. And look at Nico Horner, how consistent he is with runners to scoring position. And look at, the glove from Dansby. And look at Ian Happ. Again, criminally underrated as a player. But it's just there's so many stars in baseball, everybody can't go to Atlanta for the All-Star game. Yeah. You get it.
I get it. I understand
but there's unsung heroes up and down this line. And you actually broke some news. I didn't know Carson Kelly was second.
He was up last night against Will Smith. It was between him and Will Smith.
That's crazy. That's why we got his bobblehead, Cap. That's why I brought his bobblehead from Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, when you and Peacock went there on vacation a couple months ago.
I thought we were getting gypped. I'm like, Will Smith?
Can't get an Ohtani?
Yeah, it's like Will Smith. She's like, there you go. And McKie Peacock's like, Will Smith, and the usher says, the white one. And just hands her the box. I'm like, okay, there you go.
All
right,
bring it in.
It's been since 2014 when the in-person All-Star ballot voting system was at stadiums. I don't know about you guys, but it is something that I miss, and I feel like today. Yet it is more readily accessible. The voting rules or phases I guess they're called now, have been inconsistent to me, and I think they are confusing for the fans. So shot or no shot, the MLB All-Star voting system needs to go back to the in-person balloting.
I loved the in-person balloting because my brother Bruce and I would go to the games and we would grab a stack of the ballots and you'd get like a pen.
Yeah, and
you'd
poke
take
it.
The top of the pen, the old Bic 19-cent pen.
Yeah.
The cap had like a pointy, like, to put in your pocket, and you could punch like multiple chads at a time with it.
That's right. That's
Remember
exactly
that?
right.
Yeah.
I think this country, we have to go back to the hanging chads. Oh, sorry. We're not going back there.
Thank you.
So, Cap, I remember that as well. You go to the local store. I believe they had it at the 7-Eleven, if I'm not mistaken, in my time. Or you can.
They may have.
Yeah,
and they had the box, like the cardboard box.
Yeah.
And you would stuff all the ballots in there, but you could do as many as you wanted.
I loved going to the game and seeing it. It was something I looked forward to as a kid.
Yeah, because you'd sit in your seat while they're getting ready. But my favorite things at going to a game, I loved getting the All-Star ballot.
Yeah.
And we'd get a hot dog. And then I loved, to this day, you know how they take the water hose and they soak the dirt part of the infield, and you would see the dry dirt on a hot summer day like today, and they would meticulously, they didn't get it flooded, they just got it wet enough where the dirt wouldn't blow around. Yeah. I love when they did that.
To this day.
Take that.
I just think it's kind of confusing right now. Like, I don't know how it happens next. And I feel like it's changed over the years in terms of who's now still available. I know reserves are voted by players now, and then even pitchers are voted by players now as well. And I don't think it actually used to be that way, but I could be confused. I just thought it'd be a good question for you guys.
I think that it is a shot that, again, there was, and I know that sounds primitive to some of our younger listeners and viewers, but, there was a time where you just took that ballot seriously. And now it's kind of like going through your, what do we go through now, Cap? They know it for the computer, for the security.
Yeah.
Sitting there for an hour going through the security.
Oh,
making
God,
sure.
all that I'll always be like, oh, good, I got all my training done, and I'll look. You have 3 more. I'm like, what the?
the security thing we got to do every time.
I'm so afraid to click on anything.
Me too.
Danny, did you get the email I sent you? No, because I thought it was a fishing expedition.
That's right.
Sorry.
That's right. And I remember those infields as well.
That gets it wet.
It got it wet all the time. Absolutely. Jacob?
All right. Let's go with this one here. So at this point, we've all seen the post of Kyle Tucker stating his foundation is ready for its next chapter here in the Windy City. Everyone around the office was obviously all excited that he's showing his love for the city in his last couple of posts. But let's get real here. Shot or no shot, this was simply a campaign push by Tucker's team to cover their end and pressure the Cubs to making an over-the-top offer.
That's a no shot. He's going to get paid insane money no matter where he signs. This was simply part of his brand is he has a foundation. He gives back to the community that he is a part of. And right now that community is here. And he would like it, from what I hear, to continue to be here. But they had to pay for that right. And that's going to be somewhere between $450 and $600 million. So I don't think it was the pressure. It's just his brand, man.
But if he doesn't sign here and he goes somewhere else, it seems like they can now say, hey, we did our part. There's proof in the pudding that we wanted to be here.
That's fine, but I just know that the Cub fan will be pissed off if he goes someplace else. And I'm just prepared to say, if Tucker goes someplace else, I will not be the talk show host and say, well, middle finger to him. He didn't want to be here, so what? No. No, the Cub fan expects for the Cubs to be all in and to be able to double down as much as possible because that's a top 10 player in baseball. And, again, you'd rather not spend so much money and go over the top. But at this point in time, the Cubs have to prove that they are going to have an asset that they don't have to worry about for 7, 8, 9 years. Tucker can be that guy. That's just not some flyer, just some kid. It's an established veteran that can help the team. We've heard the Cubs over the years, oh, we were close, we were in there, we made calls, blah, blah, blah. It's time to be able to lock in and cement a guy that could be a difference maker for you for a decade. It's time. You have to be able to. What do we say, Cap? As I tell my wife all the time, I don't know if we should buy this or not. Quality costs, pal. I'll work more shifts. I'll cover it. Don't worry. If you want quality, we got to pay for quality. The Cubs have to pay for quality.
What exactly is the holdup? What's going on with the negotiations? Have they started? What's the holdup?
I think he wants. I don't think they're. Again, that we could hear at the All-Star break that they've signed him, but he has simply said, "Hey man, I'm trying to win a World Series here. I love playing here. We have a great group. I leave that stuff to my agent." Does that mean they're meeting? Jed's not stupid. Jed's a brilliant dude. And I truly was told that the day they made the trade, they said, all right, we're meeting tomorrow morning. Let's have a strategy how we get this dude to be here long term. In the end, does Tom greenlight the spend of 10 for $500 million? I can't answer that.
Yeah.
I've been told that money will not be the reason he's not here, like that they're all in. But he also has to say he wants to be here.
Yep.
He's not from Chicago. This isn't his hometown. He's from Tampa. So is his wife. They might go, you know what? We're going to sign with the Braves. We want to be closer to home. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. We will give you Around the NFL. That's next. It's a Deal Breakers Thursday. Deal Breakers comes your way at 8:35. Kap and J Hood on ESPN 1000 and ESPN_Chicago on Instagram.
Kap J Hood. Kap and J Hood. Mornings on ESPN 1000. Chicago's home for sports. Chicago White Sox baseball. Do you believe?
Len Casper and Darren Jackson bring you the call of White Sox and Dodgers.
Live coverage begins tonight at 8:30 on ESPN Chicago, the home of the White Sox. Now backed by the power of the Pope.
Howard Enkin's been part of our show, the Kap and J Hood Show, for years now.
And brings us a sidebar.
May I approach, Johnny?
Yes, you may.
Countless commercials, hundreds of live reads, a partner in our fan favorite Grip It and Sip It Classic. The list goes on, and now my guy is our guy.
That's right, Cap. I'm proud to spread the word that Enkin Law files more injury cases than any firm in Illinois. They have more than 80 attorneys on staff to help anyone injured in Chicagoland understand their rights.
Enkin Law, the best personal injury attorney in Illinois. 312-6 million. Injury law made personal. That's Enkin Law.
That's right, Cap.
Hey, it's Brandon, Mr. Finance, the Millionaire Maker. Let's talk stocks, bonds, real estate, securities, IRAs, mutual funds. There are so many options when it comes to investing. So many ways to diversify and so many ways to lose. Big, right? Trying to navigate the options and make the best decisions for yourself, you cannot go at this alone. Hey, I am Brandon, Mr. Finance, the Millionaire Maker. I have been working in finance and helping people across Chicagoland to build wealth in any and every market situation. Are you ready? Go to BrandonMrFinance.com and book an appointment today. BrandonMrFinance.com. Let's go.
You know, I couldn't stop talking about it to my family and friends. My knees are my trouble spot. But for me to tell them now that I'm doing so much better, they were amazed, and I've been amazed.
QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies. Yes, it is amazing how these non-surgical treatments deliver joint pain relief for patients like Dr. Eric Williams, a successful chiropractor.
Each week, I just started noticing that I could sleep and not have pain. I could play pickleball. I could do a CrossFit exercise routine.
QC Kinetics revitalizes your joints so you can move again without the pain pills or invasive surgery.
You know, I'm 60 years old and I want to stay competitive as long as I can. And QC has allowed me to do that. They did me right and really made a difference in my life.
Book your free consultation with QC Kinetics today and experience the difference for yourself.
I like to go, move, move, move.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Illinois. T's and C's apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Nissan No-Hitter is back on the White Sox Radio Network. Head to NissanNoHitter.com to enter, and if the Sox throw a no-hitter this season, you could drive away in a brand new 2025 Nissan Rogue. Presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Nissan dealers.
Follow Chicago's Home for Sports on Twitter at ESPN 1000. Kap and J Hood are back on ESPN Chicago, Chicago's Home for Sports.
Nick Foles sucks. He sucks. I'm just a fan. I'm not a football evaluator. I love the Green Bay Packers.
The guy is drunk, but there he goes. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl. I want winners. He starts to come and then he pulls out.
This is a really thickly built guy.
I mean, what's answer you looking for on these things here?
It's time to go around the NFL here on the Kap and J Hood show on ESPN 1000. 79 degrees, getting up to 93 degrees today. Around the NFL is brought to you by Mr. Finance. Build wealth through smarter investing by visiting brandonmrfinance.com. Here's Jacob.
All right, we're going to
wait for the introduction, pal.
Sorry about that. We're going to go ahead.
Don't be premature.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man.
We're going to go ahead.
The last thing you hate is when people try to interrupt you. You're just trying to get through, and then people stepping on you. I get it, Jacob.
My bad.
But it's okay, man. Just just take your time. But we're just ready for Around the NFL.
All right.
Brought to you by BrandonMrFinance.com. Here's Jacob.
All right.
Huh?
Here's your position tiers list. We're going to go ahead and continue it here with the RB1s in the NFC.
Oh, wait. Let me get a pen.
Here we go. I know it's not going to include a bear.
Just a reminder, your tiers are star, borderline star, high upside, placeholder, and bum.
All right, we're ready.
Let's go with Dallas.
Okay.
Javonte Williams, running back, 1.
Placeholder.
If he walked in the room, I wouldn't know who that is, Cap.
Same here.
Came from Denver. I have him as a placeholder as well.
Okay, hold on a second. Placeholder. Jay Moore, you agree? Placeholder.
Yeah, I'm with you. Placeholder. I thought he was the Uber Eats guy.
Wow.
All right, go ahead. What's the next one?
All right. New York Giants, Tyrone Tracy Jr.
Okay, the Giants, Tyrone Tracy. Okay.
I wouldn't know Tyrone Tracy Jr. if he literally kicked me in the you-know-whats.
Is he any good,
What'd I
Jake?
do to you, dude?
He had a pretty good year last year. Fantasy, guys loved him. But
a placeholder.
I have him as a placeholder for sure.
All right, next
there
one.
There you
go. Okay. Eagles, Saquon Barkley.
Superstar.
Bum.
Superstar.
Oh,
bum?
That's easy.
I'm sorry.
Oh, come on now.
Saquon Barkley. Cap, when we talk about certain players, you say, boy, I love to see him in a Chicago uniform after his time with the Giants. It's okay. There's talent everywhere. And by the way, was Saquon Barkley ever come back to the scene of the crime, the place where he got injured originally?
I don't think so.
I don't think he'd play here. But here's the great thing. Since the Bears have been on ESPN 1000, Cap, we have not mentioned the turf once. The turf's been fine at Soldier Field.
Well, that's the one thing that Eberflus did. Remember, he wanted them to change the type of grass they were using?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was an Eberflus Poles thing. That was good.
See, we haven't even talked about the turf in a couple of years. That's under the BBM regime, bad turf.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gleason.
All right, yeah, clearly a star. Let's go with the Commanders, Brian Robinson Jr.
Oh, man.
He's a borderline star. He's a good football player, man.
Yeah.
Borderline star, huh?
I had him right between star and borderline.
Yeah, I have him borderline. He's not a superstar yet, but he's really good.
Jake, what do you think?
I have him still high upside. I think they're still waiting for him to become more of that borderline star / star.
Maybe
they got Eckler, remember, last year, so he's splitting time. And I feel like it's just kind of takes away from him. So I think they're hoping that there's something where he can be the every down back.
I'm thinking that's more projection on my part. I think he can be that next level guy.
Yeah.
So
upside?
That's why I went high upside, but yeah.
Maybe it's just because I think he's going to be better than that he can break out.
Yeah.
Cap. So I wrote down borderline.
All right.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Let's move to the NFC North. The Bears.
He's a bum.
Oh, my God.
He's not a bum.
Okay.
He's
I don't
placeholder.
even need to introduce him. But go ahead. What do you guys got?
DeAndre Swift's a placeholder.
I have placeholder.
Upside?
He's too old for the upside. That's like asking me, where's my high upside? I'm too old.
He got to do lines to see what he does with it. I'm going to go upside because I want to see what he does with the new line.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
He's too old.
Shay, what do you say? He's a bum.
I think he's a bum. He's the worst running back in the league. That's what I would say.
That's correct.
Placeholder is not good enough for the Chicago Bears. It's not.
But let's see how, I'm with Jay Moore on this. Let's see how he does with an upgraded offensive line. Let's give him a chance. Come on, Hoodie.
And with a new
We'll write him
offensive line, but with a new offensive line, we consider him high upside, like he's a kid, like he's a second-year player. That ain't good enough either for the Chicago Bear. I wish we had a borderline running back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll write him down as placeholder. God almighty.
All right,
but that's what it is.
Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Superstar.
Already in the superstar category,
He's a
huh?
superstar.
Yeah,
that
he's a
guy's
superstar.
awesome.
Difference making. Now, fill in for Shea in a year from now and bring that up.
Sure.
See where we have Gibbs with the new look Lions.
I have him as a borderline star.
That's fair. That's fair. You can complement everything on the offense with the Lions, from wide receiver to offensive line as we knew it, to running back. They all eat. The offense all eats. So if not Gibbs, is Montgomery next on your list?
He's next in the depth chart list, but to me, Montgomery's he has his what he does well for them in terms of short yardage. But if it was just Montgomery there, I think he would be a placeholder. If it was still just Montgomery.
A placeholder?
Because they'd be looking to replace him or at least split reps with him, which they just
What's
did
the
with
next
Gibbs.
level up from placeholder?
High upside.
Yes, I know what David Montgomery is, so it's not like there's more there. But he's not a borderline star. He's a placeholder.
Not a placeholder. You say he's a placeholder, Cap?
Yeah.
Okay.
You think he's better than that? Well,
he's better than that.
He's shown he's better than that.
He's shown, yes.
I think he's a really good placeholder. I'm not saying in a negative light. He's not a borderline star. He's not a superstar. I know what he is. There's no more upside there.
The problem is with this
He's solid.
list. The problem is with these categories. Every time we say high upside, I think it's a young player on the come.
Correct, yeah.
And so we talk about veteran players, and the veteran players cannot have a high upside. They can't. It's either you are who you are or who you're not.
I think that DeAndre Swift could have a better year because the offensive line's going to be dramatically better if they're healthy. But I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar. I don't think he could be a borderline star. He could be a bum. If he has a bad year this year with that offensive line, then he's a bum.
Oh.
If he's right now a placeholder, could he get to what's the next one up from
it's
placeholder?
High upside, but again, that's tough because he's not young.
Right. So he's a solid football player.
Borderline.
He's not ever going to be a superstar.
So just go placeholder, then solid placeholder.
Guys, I didn't make the list tiers. I didn't make the list tiers. I'm
with you, Jay Moore.
I'm just filling in.
It's got to be something else because
Wait a minute.
You can't just because a placeholder has. It's kind of like you're doing nothing. Like you just taking up space.
I think placeholders are for the guys who know they're not going to become every down backs anymore in the NFL. So your DeAndre Swifts, your David Montgomerys, like those guys are going to be probably on multiple teams here in the next 2 or 3 years on different rosters trying to find a spot.
He's already been on multiple teams. He's on team
Swift
3
has,
right now.
So then you're a placeholder. You're getting replaced for somebody who's better every time.
Well, this is why this is great, because the buckets that we're trying to fill are tough.
Yeah.
And how to define certain veteran players. Because it's like no veteran player outside of Matt Stafford, you could say, has high upside, from a guy that was just average to all of a sudden now we see him in a whole different light with the Rams, right?
Yeah, because and the Lions are very good. This isn't a shot at the Lions now, but the Lions in the past, it was Matt by himself. They were a horribly run organization until Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes showed up.
All right, Jake, give us a few names.
Let's go Packers, Josh Jacobs, Vikings, Aaron Jones.
Okay, Josh
Jacobs is a solid. He's a borderline star.
Agree.
Yep. And then the other one was what the Vikings?
Aaron Jones, Vikings.
He's a placeholder.
He's a placeholder. Placeholder bum.
Okay, here you go. Someone who's young, but Falcons, Bijan Robinson.
He's a star, borderline star. He's got to take the next step for me.
Got it.
Left,
same one.
Right.
Bucks, Bucky Irving.
He's a borderline star. He's really
already
good.
Past high upside, in my opinion.
Irving.
He already proved that last year.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. Alvin Kamara. This one was kind of tough to me. Because I don't think he's not
really
McCaffrey and Saquon yet. Maybe he was earlier, but not anymore.
I think he's heading to placeholder.
I agree, Jay Moore.
I wrote down placeholder. Does that sound?
I should have looked up his numbers last year, but I think they were actually kind of impressive. He had like a little bit of a resurgence last year.
On his way to borderline. On his way.
Here's a high upside guy, Rams, Kyron Williams.
Yeah. Yep. I think we all can agree with that.
Yep.
Borderline star.
Let's go James Conner for the Cardinals and Kenneth Walker for the Seahawks. That'll be
placeholders.
All placeholders?
For me.
James, you said James Conner, right?
James Conner and Kenneth Walker.
A placeholder.
Yeah, he's in that Montgomery tier.
For Conner, I agree.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. And the other one, Cap, borderline or placeholder?
I have them both as Kenneth Walker. Both of them I have it just placeholders.
Kenneth Walker. Kenny Skywalker. All right.
Not a lot of bums, huh?
I have no bums in this one.
How about that? Cool. That's because Shay's not here. Let me tell you right now, this guy is a bum.
Well, he has DeAndre Swift as a bum.
Well, that would have been number one with the bullet, that's for sure.
No question.
Around the NFL is brought to you by BrandonMithTheFinance.com. All right, coming up, we will give you deal breakers. Kap and J Hood on Chicago's Home for Sports.
This is ESPN Chicago. Kap and J Hood on Chicago's Home for Sports.
The CDGA Golf Show. It's your source for golf news local and golf news from around the world. Host Tyler Rocky and Mike Gilligan are linked up with golfing knowledge to help us all. Tune in Saturdays 9 to 11 on all the ESPN Chicago channels. Brought to you by Glenview Park Golf Club.
Do you like where you live right now? Think about it. The apartment, the loft, the condo, the home that you're in right now. Do you like where you live? If you like to level up, I want you to consider Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago. If you're looking to level up your finances and finally make that move into home ownership, you got to listen up. So NHS Chicago, a company that I've been with for many years, is offering next level classes. These are free, expert-led workshops that help you beyond the basics. We're talking about building your credit, understanding estate planning, real estate investing, and how you take care of your home like a pro. Now, here's the real part. My mother-in-law, she actually used NHS Chicago when she bought her first home, and it really made all the difference. She walked in unsure of the process and came out confident and prepared because NHS gave her the tools and knowledge to make it happen. So whether you are a first-time buyer like she was, already own a home, or just want to build your financial future, this is for you. And the best part, You can take classes online or in person, whatever fits your schedule. Here's the website I want you to go to. It's nhschicago.org/education. Again, nhschicago.org/education, or call 773-329-4111 to register. nhschicago.org/education, 773-329-4111. Just go to the website, find out for you or for someone, especially over this holiday, and you say, hey, are you ready to move and be able to build your own wealth and set down your own roots? Go to nhschicago.org/education. NHS Chicago, rooted in neighborhoods, investing in people. They've helped my family. They can help yours as well. Jay Moore.
Are you going to do something today?
Yes, I am.
And what exactly might that be?
My plan is to sit here and enjoy our amazing new patio set from Steinhoffel's.
Steinhoffel's 4th of July sale is going on now. Take 10% off store-wide, plus an extra $100 off every $999 you spend. But don't wait too long, because this sale ends soon.
Now, would you be a sweetheart and get me another lemonade? I have to stay hydrated.
Steinhoffel's 4th of July sale, going on now.
If you're a business owner or building manager, now is the time to upgrade to energy-saving LEDs. Universal Lighting of America makes it easy. As a 2025 service provider for both ComEd and NIPSCO energy efficiency programs, we handle everything from installation to paperwork. That means no hassle, just brighter lights, lower bills, and real savings. And your utility provider may cover up to 70% of the project cost through available rebates. Call now or visit ulasaves.com to schedule your free lighting savings assessment. That's ulasaves.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hear that? That's the sound of change. The sound of you driving towards a cleaner, healthier future. Visit ComEd.com/EV to find tools and resources to help make the switch to an electric vehicle easier than ever, alongside valuable rebates for going electric. Whether it's a home vehicle or a business fleet, driving green can save you green. Charge into the future at ComEd.com/EV. ComEd, powering lives.
Schaumburg Boomers are bringing the heat, baby. Catch post-game fireworks super shows July 3rd and 4th. Don't miss the epic drone and fireworks spectacular on July 5th. And make sure you get your tickets for July 25th when I will be out there throwing out the first pitch, singing 7th inning stretch, and hanging with many of you. I go every year. It is a great time. Get your tickets now at boomersbaseball.com. Feel the boom with Schaumburg Boomers Baseball.
If you missed something, get the podcast on the ESPN Chicago app. Kap and J Hood are back on Chicago's home for sports, ESPN Chicago.
We all have to make choices in sports and in life. It could be running on third down.
You ran the same third down situation, and you ran the same play twice. You're getting paid for that.
I cannot believe the call. Or managing finances.
This country, you got to make the money first.
Or it could be a deal breaker.
Time for Deal Breakers here on Kap and J Hood. And of course, Kap, Deal Breakers is brought to you by...
Here is Jake.
Wait a minute.
Get to work, Keith.
Brought to you by no one at the moment. Here's Jacob
Such
Santos.
great real estate. Come on, Keith. Let's go.
You're right about that, buddy.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and tie this into the 4th of July here with these first two stories. Also, they are personable to me. So let's start here. Every year.
Oh, my God.
Hold
on. You're coughing into the mic.
Yeah, rookie.
Craig Counsell producing the
My
show this morning.
God. Kind of professional. Just every year. Damn it.
Whether it's that or not waiting for my introduction, I apologize.
Go ahead, buddy.
All right, every year we have a family reunion on the 4th of July. Easily over 100 people come, and we also host now for about 20 years our 32-team family bocce or bocce ball tournament, however you want to say it.
Bocce. It's bocce
It's
ball.
bocce. You got it. With the winner getting their names engraved on the family trophy.
Okay.
Here's the deal. My brother organizes the tournament, and every year people invite friends of the family to play. Well, those friends of the family take up spots. And so, as you can imagine, the family has complained over the years, especially when the friends of the family, win the tournament. Well, 2 4th of Julys ago, this happened, and it sparked some outrage amongst the family. How should this be handled, in your opinion? Should the 4th of July family tournament only be allowed for family?
Yeah, that's a shot. Absolutely a shot that it should be. I know that's a different segment, Johnny. Yes, it's a family thing. It should be a family thing.
Yes, because you see what happened when you let interlopers or people on the outside infiltrate your fun family affair. You see what happens? Now there's controversy. There's drama. Jacob, you want to have a drama-free 4th of July, do you not?
I do.
Okay, so I think that I don't know what's going to happen this weekend or starting tomorrow, but I think moving forward, it has to be just family because you could deal with family, but the ones on the outside taking up slots, nah, because you see what happened.
And now get this.
Okay.
So the family friend who hasn't been back that won it 2 years ago was none other than Hall of Fame tight end Tony Gonzalez. And so now there's a twist to the story, like how cool is it that Tony Gonzalez is enshrined on our family trophy? He hasn't been back.
Okay.
It's cool.
Well, it is cool. There's something to be said to have a Hall of Famer on the trophy.
Sure.
But still, I need to know what happens tomorrow. And are Kap and I invited?
It's a fun time. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
If you want to go fly back to San Diego tonight, that's fine with me.
You know I'm in.
Yeah.
Hoodie loves San Diego.
So you know I'm
the
in.
pods.
Oh, my God.
And I've got family in San Diego, so yeah.
We're in. So I would say, Kap, to get away from that drama, though, I would say it's a deal breaker to have anyone else that's involved because clearly they're messing stuff up.
It's always been a thing. And because it actually used to be where it was like so competitive that like the guys wouldn't play with their wives.
Yeah.
Well, my brother had to do it one year where he made it. It had to be a co-ed tournament. People complained. Then other people started complaining about their kids couldn't play because they're too young. It got so big that my brother had to do playing games for the dang tournament.
That's a long day.
Yeah.
That is a very long day.
But it's a fun time, and it always kind of just sparks a little bit of outrage. But I thought I'd share that with you guys.
Okay. So this, when does this start now? Will you do this tomorrow?
This will be tomorrow around 12 p.m. Pacific time.
You going to be there?
No, I'm here.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
But I'll find out who the winner is, and I'll be able to take a look at the tournament board and see if there's any names I don't recognize.
And you can make the declaration. If it's still some dramas going on, you have to be able to raise your hand as a leader in the family and say, that's enough of this.
I agree.
So how about that, Kap?
Fair.
All right.
Okay.
Give us another.
All right. So this just recently happened here. My wife's friend is visiting town, and she dropped a bomb that she is bringing her service dog on vacation with her. We had previously made plans for restaurants, boats on the lake, etc. All weekend, pretty far in advance, and now we need to check, or we needed to check, and some places we even had to change reservations. Since she can't go anywhere with this dog, right? It's caused a problem between me and my wife a little bit, and my wife doesn't want to make her leave the dog in our apartment. And on top of that, we have a one-bedroom place, so my wife doesn't want her to ask to go find a hotel. So that puts me, this late in the game, on the couch this 4th of July weekend. How should this be handled?
Oh, come on.
Okay, so wait.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Because I'm dealing with this. It's so ironic you brought this up. I'm dealing with this right now because I'm up in Wisconsin and I have my son, daughter-in-law, grandkids, and they brought their dog. Well, I have 3. 4 dogs is a lot in the house, and their dog doesn't play as well with ours as he probably should. So they were like, maybe you could take your dogs back to Chicago. And I'm like, no, they're not going anywhere. So we worked it out, and we've got it all situated. But my question is, if it's a service dog, like ours are not service dogs. Ours are just hilarious. I thought you could take them into any place. They can't deny you service with a service dog.
Yeah, so she has like a vest, but like it's just one of those things where it happened so late in the game that it was almost like left on us to figure out. And I didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
It's the service dog is for anxiety, and it's just, like she's not taking the dog with her really like everywhere. Like even now she wants to like, can I leave the dog in the house? And I'm like, well, no, because it's my place. Like,
well, right.
Okay. So you're either going to take it or we're changing our plans.
How big is the dog?
Oh, it's tiny. But it barks.
For heaven's sakes.
Can't you put it in the bathroom and close the door?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would do.
Put it in the dresser.
Listen,
Close the door in the dresser.
I came home last night at 1:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
And there's that dog just barking because I'm unfamiliar to the dog. Like it's just causing a little bit of an issue. And
okay. All right. First of all, that dog is put into a drawer in your closet there. That's how you do that. Yeah. All right. That's the end of that dog. So here's what I'm thinking, Cap.
It's Peter.
Well, that's fine. They can't come in. Cap, isn't this one of those things where Jacobs just gotta grow a pair? He's gotta say something here. I mean, seriously, it's his place, all right? It's his place. He should be able to tell, hey, you need to go to a hotel, right? Is that right, Cap? That's the way it should be.
Yeah, or just if it's a little, just put it in the freaking bathroom and close the door with a bowl of water, a couple toys. See it when we get back, dude.
Yeah, I just think that it's intrusive.
Happy wife, happy life. You got to find a solution. That's what we did up here.
That's fine, but it's intrusive. It's his place. And all of a sudden, here comes this dog, this anxiety dog. And the dog's barking at Jacob and his own place. So now he's got to deal with that. I'm sure the sleep was not great. The turnaround from last night's Sox game to this, it probably was not great for you.
It was not. My wife put out blankets and a pillow, but there was that dog.
That's a shame, man.
Right?
Wow. How long you got to deal with this? Just for the weekend?
Just for the weekend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Listen,
you're better than that.
And I like
figure out
the
a
girl.
solution.
She was in our wedding.
Find a way.
She's awesome, but yeah.
But she should be in a hotel.
She should be in a hotel.
Find a way.
Cap, that's what I would have done. You would have been in a hotel.
Yeah, if you want everyone to be together, that's fine. Just find a way.
But that yappy dog, though, barking in your place. Hey, shut that dog up. I want peace.
One of my dogs
place.
just walked into my studio here.
Well, that's because...
Hi, Stanley. Stanley's right here.
That's fine. Shut that dog up, too.
He's not barking.
Oh, I can hear the heavy breathing like Counsell, though.
That's it.
I can hear that.
There you go.
More deal breakers right around the corner on Kap and J Hood.
Kap and J Hood, ESPN Chicago. Courtney Cronin, the latest from Hallis Hall and wherever Bears roam in Chicago. Be an informed fan with ESPN Chicago. Brought to you by Costa Ivoni.
Are you confident your retirement game plan is as strong as steel? Hey, it's Yurko from Mitch Lyons Wealth. MitchLyonsWealth.com is full of tools for you to access at no cost to make sure you're positioned to win retirement. Go to MitchLyonsWealth.com today and get a free copy of Mitch's book or his retirement documentary. You can set a no-obligation 10-minute call with Mitch and his team to see if strategies they are utilizing might improve your retirement. That's MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Are you
1 in a million? Country Thunder Wisconsin is excited to be welcoming its 1 millionth fan in 2025. It could be you. The 1 millionth person to walk through the gate will win 2 reserved seats, camping, festival catering, and access to artist hospitality for life. Plus, awesome festival merch and prizes from our awesome partners. See Jelly Roll, Hardy, Dierks Bentley, and Cole Swindell at Country Thunder Wisconsin, July 17th to 20th. You can't be the millionth fan without your ticket. Visit countrythunder.com.
Hey friends, it's your buddy Tom Waddle, and I drive a Hawk. The 4th of July weekend sales event is going on now at all 12 Hawk Auto locations. Forest Park, St. Charles, Plainfield, Joliet, Carroll Stream, and now LaSalle, Peru. Shop thousands of vehicles from 13 big brands. Save with 0% financing for 72 months or no payments for 90 days. That's 0% or no payments till October. Find your next car this 4th of July weekend at hawkauto.com.
HawkAuto.com.
$13.89 per month per thousand finance on select models with approved credit.
At Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, we make home service easy. We guarantee same-day service and installation with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. Family-owned for 53 years, Four Seasons has over 30,000 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. For all your plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical needs, for all the right reasons, call 866 Four Seasons.
For all the right reasons, call 866 Four Seasons.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
$6 million. The Veroliak Law Group wins again for their clients. You heard me right. The Veroliak Law Group recovered $6 million for a client who was injured due to a medical error. If you're injured, make sure to call the Veroliak Law Group.
Whether you are locking in on home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York. Jay Moore.
Kap and J Hood are back.
And you know this, man.
Chicago's home for sports. ESPN Chicago.
Deal breakers. Here's Jacob Santos.
All right, quick one. This is a good story here. This man says, I've been with my wife for over 40 years, including 32 years of marriage. He's done the best as he could as a boyfriend, fiance, and a husband and father of 2 adult children. But it was until 10 years ago he thought he had the best marriage possible. His wife then entered menopause, and everything changed. He realized how difficult that part of a woman's life can be, and he helped her in whatever way he could. But she's long past that difficult phase now, and since then, she has become the most miserable, cold person he has ever known. What can he do as he's stuck in what is now a terrible marital situation? He's too old to start a new life, and he's still interested in her, but her abusive behavior, he says, is badly eroding his interest in staying in this relationship.
No, Cap, wow. I did not send that in, so don't be blaming me.
Gary?
Wow.
Gary,
so,
come in here.
As someone who has, I'm going to get in trouble, but as someone who is married to someone who went through menopause, hey, man, you got to deal with the ups and the downs.
Yes.
Be sympathetic. But also, he has a right to not tolerate her abusive behavior. And either you go to her and say, look, hon, I love you. I still desire you. But I'm not going to tolerate this any longer. And if this is how it's going to be, I would rather be happy alone than be with someone as cold and as miserable as you are.
Yeah.
Again, going through it It's not easy for a woman. I saw it firsthand. But you got to be sympathetic, and you got to help them through that. Is there anything I can do? They get a little irritable. You deal with it. But if it continues to the level this guy's describing, get in or get out, because I'm not living my life that way.
I would also say that he's asking the question, is it too old to start a new life? No, it is not. You're not too old to start a new life. If you're that into it and you're saying, hey, I still love her, but she's been miserable and it's been lasting a long time, you have every right to end the relationship if you want to. It's your choice. It's actually you and your wife's choice. Jay Moore?
Oh, you just got to be like,
dude, don't be talking to me like that.
Oh, my God.
That's it. Jay Moore's right.
Okay, well, you're backing her down. What is this now? You're backing her down. Can't do that. But you can have the conversation. So it's not a deal breaker off the rip, but definitely if it just is ongoing and it lasts for years and she's using that as a crutch to be mean to you, you have every right to end it. All right, give us another one, Jake.
All right, another one quickly here. The other day, this dad says, this wife says, my son called our daughter a big back. Immediately, our 7-year-old starts crying. Our 12-year-old is a bit pudgy, but not concerning for his age. Our 7-year-old is lean and in shape. That said, both are sensitive and need to be protected. As a parent, what do? I explain to my son that his comments are not kind and that he can't say that to his sister, but then my husband exploded and tells my son, newsflash, son, you're fat. I lost it. I said a few choice words and removed myself from the situation. But how should I approach my husband about his choice words and understanding teaching your child is not to be a bully, all while your husband is being the bully?
How old is the little kid he called fat?
12.
Yeah, look.
Is the mom hot?
I can't see.
That's a great question, John. In addition, I can tell you there were two Chicago sports legends at different junctures, but in the same time span. Now, they were not together at the time. One of them was the late Ron Santo. And I got done doing the pregame. They're going through the festivities, the first pitch, all that. Pat Hughes is on the air. I go into the lunchroom because I hadn't had time to eat. I grabbed 2 cheeseburgers they were serving in the lunchroom, fries, put them on the plate. I was 45 pounds heavier than I'd been for the last several years. Hoodie knows how hard I worked at it. And I bring my food back into the booth. I set it down. Ron Santos stands up to go get a drink. He looks, he goes, 2 cheeseburgers, huh, you fat ass? And I'm like, whoa. And Pat turned around. He was on the air. He goes, that's aggressive. And he's like, hey, man, he's a good-looking kid. He's fat. He needs to be told that. And I took the 2 burgers, and I slammed him in the garbage can, and I was furious. But then I had like a come-to-Jesus meeting with myself because a second player, a former Bear, said to me at a golf tournament, he's like, Cap, can I tell you something? And we're super tight now. We were not then. He said, hey, man, push yourself away from the table and get in the gym. Come on, man, you're better than that. And I went, wow, twice in a week? Mm-hmm. All right. And I lost 45 pounds, and I am where I am today. So direct is sometimes good, but with a 12-year-old, that's aggressive. And I had no problem with it.
That's a Fat Cap story.
That's a Fat Cap story. I could have, like, if I was a good player, I could have played for Bobby Knight. I know how hard it would have been. He would have yelled and screamed and all of that. It wouldn't have bothered me. It would not.
So it is a deal breaker. That kid has to be disciplined and be better than that. That's for sure. Got to do that.
But do you use those words with a 12-year-old?
To say he's got to be better than that?
No, to say you're fat and yell it like that. Like, wouldn't you rather, like if it was my kid, I'd walk up to say, okay, so-and-so, Brett, hey, man, we got to talk. You're setting yourself up here. You're going to school again in the fall. Let's work on better choices with our diet. Like that, with some empathy, right?
Yes.
What you're going to always do what my grandma used to say.
What?
That?
You're husky.
That's right. And here's some corduroy pants from Sears.
Do they still make the husky section? Because my brother Bruce, who weighs like 140 now, he was in the husky section as a kid.
I'd rather husky than fat.
That's fair. Nothing wrong with being a husky. Go Huskies! And that is Deal Breakers right here on Kap J Hood. If you're on hold, you will be on the air. 312-332-ESPN, 332-3776. That's our phone number on Kap J Hood.
Live from State Street in the heart of Chicago, you are listening to the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago. And this is Kap J Hood, WMVP, WTBC, HD2, Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Hey, this is David Kaplan. I love the heat. Give me 90 degrees and a chance to be outdoors, and I'm a happy guy. But when you step out of the heat and into your home or business, I totally appreciate being able to control the temperature to make everybody comfortable. My friends at Automatic keep your AC system running its best no matter what Mother Nature throws at us. And if something were to break down, Automatic can help find the best system for your space and have it back to the perfect temperature in no time. Go to Automatic.com. That's Automatic.com.
You have heard me talk about how businesses are elevating their game in Bolingbrook. Here's Mayor Mary Alexander Basta to tell you herself.
Thanks, Peggy. Bolingbrook remains the most desirable southwest suburban location to start or expand your business. I invite you to learn how welcoming we are to the many businesses who recently have made Bolingbrook their home.
So if you're looking to elevate your future and the future of your business, visit bebolingbrook.com to learn more.
Join us and be Bolingbrook.
Take it from me, when you want the job done right, you call the pros. And that's why Chicago trusts Window Works. For over 30 years, they've delivered custom windows and doors that fit your home, your style, and your budget. No cookie cutter stuff, just certified pros who get it done. And it's not just about beauty. These windows can help cut down your energy bills, too. Right now, buy one window, get one free. Dial pound 250 on your phone and say Waddle to book your free consultation today.
White Sox fans, a day at the ballpark is a classic summer activity, so grab your crew and take advantage of savings all summer long with our summer savings section presented by Wintrust. Now through the end of the season, enjoy select lower-level tickets for $20 on all weekday games and $25 on all weekend games while supplies last. Includes fees, some exclusions apply. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/section.
Coming up, you really hope to say it gets some support in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is super deserving. The All-Star game is there's great players all over the place, and let's say he's having an All-Star game. There's no question about it.
Suzuki back in, Bybee ready. Chopped up the middle, right in to score is Sean Tucker on his heels, and Seiya Suzuki is knocked into the Cubs have the lead 4-3.
The Cubs, they defeat the Cleveland Guardians by a score of 5-4. They won back-to-back games against Cleveland. And what's up, Chicago? Happy 4th. Welcome into the Kap J Hood Morning Show on ESPN 1000 and streaming on the ESPN Chicago app with David Kaplan, Jonathan Hood with you. We have got Jake. We have got Jay Moore. We've got you here. So we're getting ready for the 4th of July. We hope that you're going to have a great weekend. Phone line's over for you, 312-332-ESPN, 332-3776 is our phone number. Cubs this morning, Cap, are 3 games ahead of Milwaukee, 5 games ahead of St. Louis, and you just take it series by series. 5 runs in each game, and it's enough to beat the Guardians in back-to-back contests.
Yeah, Hoodie, watching every pitch of that game last night and seeing Seiya Suzuki continue to deliver, or Kyle Tucker getting hit or getting on base and then stealing second. Like, I'm watching these guys Kyle Tucker's a big guy. He's a, guy can hit 40 home runs in a season, might do that this year, certainly in the 30s, I would think. And then I'm watching Ohtani last night in the Sox game. That dude's huge.
Oh, yeah.
He hits the ball, it explodes off the bat, and there he is stealing bases again. Kyle Tucker's, I think, 21 of 22 in steals. Like, it's amazing what we're watching from guys who normally, back in the day when we were kids, you would never see big guys like that running.
No, those are supposed to be the fleas in the lineup.
Right. That's exactly right. The Bobby Derniers and the Juan Pierres and those Nico Horners. Not guys who are hitting 40 bombs.
And so it was just great to see the Cubs come through with Suzuki, who I believe is deserving to be an all-star, from Pete Crow-Armstrong. We're going to hear from Pete in just a moment. And also Dansby Swanson, big catalyst for the Chicago Cubs. Pete Crow's so fast, he'll run his way off of third base for the third out of an inning, as you saw. He doesn't have a kickstand, Cap, on his bike. He goes fast, as you saw yesterday.
Yeah, I was listening to the broadcast, watching the broadcast, and look, when I hear the ball over the head of the outfielder, it's going to rattle away. Oh, and he's tagged out going around third. I'm like, whoa, where was the throw? Can we paint the picture a little bit better? I mean, sweet mother of God. Ball's rattling around. Oh, it bounces away from the outfielder. He's out at third. What? Where was the cutoff man? Who made the throw? What happened?
Well, that's
Pete Crow
strange.
came around third. I have to go back and see if I can find on the MLB TV the shot of the third base coach, Quentin Berry, because did he wave him like to try for an inside-the-park homer? Did he have the stop sign up and Pete Crow just was surprised by the throw to the bat? I can't answer that. All I can tell you is you cannot get picked off. I'm not talking about Pete, but I'm talking about the other night. We had 3 guys make outs on the bases. 3 of them.
Yeah.
The catcher trying to score on a wild pitch. Don't run unless you're guaranteed you're going to make it. You're a catcher, Carson Kelly. And then Horner and Shaw get picked off at first back-to-back. Crazy. When you have all these men on base and you do nothing with it from that point forward, that inning. And then Matt Boyd picks a guy off. And then last night we see the Pete Crow play at third. Like, you're going to have a game that matters where you're like, oh, God, we have to win today. And you make these outs, that is nonsense.
Cap, I was watching the Boog Shambi moving over to be Network Boog with Kyle Peterson on that TV. And
He's actually John on the network. Do you notice that?
He's just John Shambi, right?
John Shambi. And I'm a huge John Shambi fan. Like, I really like him as a guy.
Yeah.
I think he's an awesome announcer. I think his presentation is friendly and welcoming. But he's a different guy on the national broadcast because he doesn't want you to think he's cheering for the Cubs.
I guess where I was going is I was watching the television broadcast, and I told you I was listening to Tom Hamilton do the Cleveland broadcast. That play with Pete Crow overrunning third, you said the description wasn't good. Where'd you hear that?
It wasn't Tom Hamilton. I don't want to take shots at anybody. It wasn't Tom Hamilton on the Guardians broadcast.
Okay.
Let me just say that.
But it wasn't the TV. I thought that was an apt description. Where'd you hear that, where you weren't sure what happened at third base? Did you get another call?
Yeah, somewhere on the MLB app. I got it. Let's just say that. Damn. Again.
He doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings this morning. He's Cap. I heard both sides of the broadcast, Cap. There must be a third stream that you might have heard that did not give
there was an extra stream out there, and all I heard was line drive over the right fielder's head. It kicks away, and Pete Crow-Armstrong's out at third. I'm like, excuse me, was Roberto Clemente out there? Like, paint the picture, my man. Tell me. He gathers it in. He fires to the cutoff man, and Crow-Armstrong's going to be caught rounding third. What a throw. None of it. Like, wait, what? What just happened?
Ronnie, tell me about Pete Crow Armstrong. We turn now. We turn now to PCA, who got a chance to talk about being a first-time All-Star with Kevin Connors. Great conversation, but just his overall thoughts that he's going to go to Atlanta.
Sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good. Still processing a little bit, and I am overly grateful right now. So it's pretty cool. We just had a great little team meeting in the clubhouse, and we got to do it last year with Shota. So getting to hear it be about Kyle, and then looking forward to the other potential All-Stars that we got. That was that's definitely a highlight of the year so far for me, for sure. I think what I've kind of surprised myself with is obviously the power production, but in this specific time span, pulling the ball in the air has been something I've worked on for my whole pro career, and we're really starting to make some good improvements here. But I think inherently I've always had enough confidence to produce a year like this, and I think the focus is just it just becomes continuing the year that I'm having, and being a part of a ball club that's playing in October, and winning meaningful baseball games.
So thoughts there from PCA with his ESPN interview with Kevin Connors.
Yeah, it was very cool, and to watch the clubhouse when he introduced the two All-Stars that were voted in, Craig Counsell, that's just a really tight-knit group. It is. And, they're on the boat the other day with the wives, and they're taking the pictures, and everything I hear is, and Jed said this to us on opening day when we had our remote at Sports Corner, and I said, your team last year, man, was super boring. It was just vanilla.
Yeah.
You need a Kevin Millar like they had in Boston, or you need somebody. Well, it's becoming more organic, and I've had friends of mine who never played professional baseball. You didn't either. But a locker room has to have some type of a role for someone who brings levity and leadership. David Ross in 2016. He wasn't there because he was the best player, but he was the boss in there. He was the guy that got in Rizzo's face a year earlier when he didn't run a ball out in Pittsburgh and said, that BS will not be tolerated here. We don't play that way. And Anthony talked about it. Wow, that guy was all over me. That's leadership, and there is a role for that. There is. Mm-hmm. Justin Turner plays that role. He's a great leader in there. He's the guy that took, I think it was it Ian Happ or was it PCA? I think it was PCA. He took him down to the video room in game and said, look at this. You got to do this and not that. And he hit a home run the next time up. And he said, Justin Turner was amazing. There's room for a guy like that on a team. Not everyone's going to be a 300 hitter with 45 homers.
Some thoughts here from the fine manager of the Chicago Cubs, Craig Counsell, talking about, obviously pretty happy about the Cubs and their effort. Suzuki becoming an all-star.
As the players' ballot coming up, do you really hope Seiya gets some support in that respect?
Yeah, I think he is super deserving. The All-Star game is there's great players all over the place, but Seiya's he's having an all-star year. There's no question about it.
Okay, well, he's Don Knotts. That's right, Andy. Nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud, Andy. They're just sniffing his way through another episode of gentle comedy from the Andy Griffith Show. And also, we were able to hear history right here on ESPN 1000 last night with Clayton Kershaw.
The 1-2. Called strike three. Clayton Kershaw joins the exclusive 3,000 K Club. Kershaw takes off his cap to acknowledge the crowd. What a moment. Mickey's waving at his family now out in front of the Dodger dugout, and he's going to get hugs from all of his teammates on the field. 3,000 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw.
It happened against the White Sox last night, Cap. Something that I don't think we'll see too much more of that. And I just want to just put a cherry on the Kershaw strikeout feat yesterday, 3,000 strikeout. Cap, I know that the new seam heads, or those that are really deep into the analytics of baseball, will tell you that the back of the baseball card stats that you and I grew up with don't mean anything anymore. I just think that's BS. I think that those numbers matter just like the newfangled numbers. Some of them matter. But strikeouts, to have someone to strike out 3,000 hitters, Cap, it's just, to me, that's still amazing to me. Even at my age today, I'm in awe of someone that could be able to do that.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. We know how risky drafting high school pitching is. They drafted that kid in the top 10, Kershaw, and here he is at 40 years of age achieving that incredible milestone, and he's a great dude. Talk to anybody that's been around him. My guy Ryan McGuffey, he went to Cuba with him. There was an MLB sojourn to Cuba, and it was the return of Jose Abreu to his home country after defecting to join the White Sox. He hadn't been back, and MLB set this up with the Cuban government, and so they asked NBC Sports Chicago to take a film crew with, and Guff was the head of that crew. And so they're down there, and they brought a couple of MLB stars with, and there's Clayton Kershaw front and center. I'll go. One of the greats of all time. And Guff said they hung out in a bar each night, having dinner and having drinks. And he said, let me tell you something. The nicest guy in the world. There is nothing star about him as a person. He's just a star player. And he saw him at Wrigley one day, and there he was talking to somebody. He just walked by, didn't say anything. And Kershaw goes, wow, we spent 10 days together in Cuba. You don't even say hello? He's like, I didn't want to bother you. He's like, dude, I'm not that guy. You're my friend. You're my friend. That's how I am. And here's this guy setting a record last night, striking out Vinny Capra, who could tell his grandkids someday, I was number 3,000. Super cool.
You think about some of the all-time great fireballers like Bob Gibson, Phil Niekro, Justin Verlander in that conversation as well. 3,000 strikeouts. As a White Sox fan, I do not take offense to it. You knew it was going to happen. I'm glad that the Sox battled. They didn't just roll over in the first couple of innings. It took a while, but finally Kershaw got his 3,000th strikeout against the White Sox yesterday. Jesse Rogers is on hold, and we will hear from Jesse coming up next and get his thoughts about what happened with the Cubs and Sox yesterday on the Kap J Hood Morning Show.
You're listening to Kap J Hood on ESPN Chicago. He is the best American-born hockey player of all time, a three-time Stanley Cup champion with the Chicago Blackhawks. ESPN Chicago is proud to announce the return of Patrick Kane for a truly special day, Friday, August 8th, a day that matches his coveted number 88.
Let's hear from number 88.
Kaner will be everywhere, just as he was on the ice, including a youth hockey clinic at Johnny's Ice House West at 9 a.m. And you can purchase tickets for an exclusive autograph signing at the Chicago Sports Museum at 11:30. Or a very special Q&A event at Morgan MFG at 6:30. All tickets for events can be purchased at Eventbrite. Just search Patrick Kane.
What's up, Chicago?
Friday, 8/8. Celebrate the legend number 88, Patrick Kane.
Hi, I'm Dr. Yates, and I can help you with hair loss. I know the pain you feel. I've suffered from hair loss since my early 20s, and I did something about it. Let me assist you in doing something about your hair loss. Start by visiting DrYatesHairScience.com. Our team has the experience and expertise to help you look younger. Don't get fooled by other hair restoration clinics and their low prices or gimmicks. Imagine a more confident, younger-looking you. DrYatesHairScience.com.
If you're a business owner or building manager, now is the time to upgrade to energy-saving LEDs. Universal Lighting of America makes it easy. As a 2025 service provider for both ComEd and NIPSCO energy efficiency programs, we handle everything from installation to paperwork. That means no hassle, just brighter lights, lower bills, and real savings. And your utility provider may cover up to 70% of the project cost through available rebates. Call now or visit ulasaves.com to schedule your free lighting savings assessment. That's ulasaves.com.
Start counting the days. Country Thunder Wisconsin is almost here with Jelly Roll, Hardy, Dierks Bentley, Cole Swindell. Plus, Gavin Adcock, Ashley McBride, Tyler Hubbard, Zach Top, and many, many more. All your favorite artists together on one stage. Experience Country Thunder Wisconsin, July 17th to 20th. Save up to $46 at participating Walgreens and Menards.
Dear Rocky Roads, the 2025 Toyota Tacoma doesn't flinch. Rugged twists? Been there. Rutted turns? Done that. With tons of top tech and rock-solid resilience, Tacoma is tougher than any terrain. And when the dust settles, Tacoma's legendary resale value means confidence for the road ahead. Find your Tacoma at Toyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
If Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea was your best friend, it would be the kind of friend that starts an impromptu dance party in the supermarket aisle that turns into an all-day pool party rager at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea turns any day into a legendary adventure. It's smooth and refreshing real iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
$6 million. The Veroliak Law Group wins again for their clients. You heard me right. The Veroliak Law Group recovered $6 million for a client who was injured due to a medical error. If you're injured, make sure to call the Veroliak Law Group.
Welcome back to Kap and J Hood on Chicago's Home for Sports, ESPN Chicago.
Jesse Rogers is with us to talk about the Cubs and Sox and everything else MLB. And Jesse's brought to you by...
That would be Automatic Mechanical Services. They make people comfortable on a hot day. If your air conditioning is having an issue, call my guy, Steve Stahorek and Company at Automatic, at Omatic.com.
And he's on the Yuengling Hotline.
Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you?
I am good, boys. Did you see the breaking news out of the Guardians clubhouse just a few minutes ago? Have you seen this on Twitter yet?
Yes, I have. Please tell everyone the news.
It was just announced by Major League Baseball. They put the starting pitcher for tonight's game, Luis Ortiz, on non-disciplinary paid leave through the All-Star break, so he will not start tonight's game. We don't know if this is a gambling investigation, a domestic thing, something to break the law. We don't know what the reasoning is. But the important thing for Cub fans is he will not start today. They called up a lefty, Joey Cantillo, will get the start. So little influx situation for the Cleveland Guardians as they lose Luis Ortiz. We'll find out, I'm sure, over time here what that's about. So they'll start a lefty instead of a righty. And Cap, I'm wondering at J Hood, does Michael Busch get a start? Because he did get a hit off a lefty reliever last night. I asked Counsell before the game if he was going to get more starts against lefties. He basically said we'll weigh it, game by game. So that answer to me was no. But I'm hoping he gets one tonight.
Yeah, the statement is just, the way you said it, and then I'm looking at exactly what they wrote. Just the way that they wrote it, boy, that's ominous, Jesse. Like, I'll bet you he's not back the day after the All-Star break.
Yeah,
No.
You just don't know. Like I said, is it gambling? Is it domestic? Is it something else? We just don't know. So, But it doesn't sound good. Anybody that's put on that leave, they don't do that lightly. If you're put on leave, there's a reason behind it. Doesn't mean you're guilty, but there's usually a really good reason behind it, so we'll see.
So to answer your question directly, you would think that he'd have an opportunity to start. It's just something, again, it's a pitcher that you're not expecting to have in place today, so why not give him an opportunity? I say yes.
Right. He would have started against the righty, so why not start against the lefty? But it's a good problem to have because their offense just continues to be the storyline. I know they stopped at 5 runs yesterday, but 5 runs is pretty good, and it was enough to win the game. And it's gotten 2 guys in the All-Star game, maybe a third in Seiya Suzuki. We got the players' ballot / commissioner's office, choosing the reserves on Sunday. But what an offensive first half for the Cubs. It kind of came out of nowhere. Considering their woes on offense last year, it's kind of come out of nowhere. And Kyle Tucker hasn't come out of nowhere. But that lineup 1 through 9 producing the way it has just been so much fun to watch.
As you look at where we're at with this Cubs team, and Seiya has 73 RBIs, he's just having an amazing, amazing year. Jed Hoyer has openly said, we're going to add pitching. I also think he's going to add a third baseman. I keep watching for the Diamondbacks to keep losing. They lost last night. So that Eugenio Suarez could be a Cub. But Max Muncy looks like he had a serious injury for the Dodgers last night. Do you think the Diamondbacks would trade him in the division, which would keep the Cubs from getting the guy that I believe is their number 1 target at that spot?
My short answer is no. I don't think they would trade him to the Dodgers, but I don't know the inner dynamics there. If they're selling off pieces and the Dodgers give the Diamondbacks the best offer, maybe. I just don't know the Mike Hazen, Andrew Friedman relationship or the dynamic there. But normally I would not think a divisional team would give someone like that a major piece. Other than maybe Suarez, I don't think they're going to replace Matt Shaw as the starter. They might go out and get a backup. Now, if Suarez falls in the lap, that's a different story. He's an MVP candidate this year. I don't think – look at his defense just last night. I know he made an error late, but his defense alone is great. And when you have a team scoring like they are, I think you could carry a rookie – light-hitting third baseman who plays great defense. So I don't think they're looking to replace him, but if a great player like Suarez is available, different story. I do think they're looking for a better backup in terms of somebody that can hit off the bench.
Jesse, you got a chance to talk to Craig Counsell regarding Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, I really liked what Counsell said here. Look, we knew he was a good player, but it was no guarantee he was going to have the first half that he did. It isn't easy. We've seen free agents or guys that are traded have difficulty in their new city. And it was just interesting to hear Craig Counsell talk about just how well he's built as a hitter and the calmness he brings to the batter's box. Here's Counsell on one of his 2 All-Stars.
It's just been a joy to watch him play baseball. I think there was tremendous expectations. It's a new place. It's a contract year at a new place, and he's exceeded expectations. And I think we all have. It's just fun to watch the guy take at bats. I mean, that's the biggest thing I take from it is seems uniquely built, the makeup for being a hitter. It's just very present in every moment. Nothing affects the next pitch, and that's really hard to do, and he does it as well as anybody I've ever watched take at bats.
You guys.
Can you talk to him if Sinus and Snoring could do a deal with him?
Okay, so here's the weird thing. If you talk to anybody in the press room that's there daily, no one really notices that. It's weird. I didn't notice it until you guys started pointing it out. So I don't know if it comes across with the microphone more, because when you're in the room, you don't need the microphone. Like, it doesn't come through the microphone in the room. There's no speakers there. So it's weird. When you hear it on the radio, it's more pronounced than in the room. So it's just funny when you guys play that.
So Kyle Tucker and Pete Crow Armstrong will be the second Cubs duo to start the same All-Star game in the outfield, joining Frank Damari and Augie Gallen from 1936. Actually, no outfielder, Cap, has started the All-Star game for the Cubs since Fukudome in 2008. That's been a long time. A lot of struggles.
Yeah, 16 had the whole infield, but nobody in the outfield.
Yeah.
And, Seiya leads the league in RBI. They could have 3 middle-of-the-order guys go. It's just so cool. It really is. And Tucker's just been money in the bank. I mean, Tucker reminds me of the beginning of Chris Bryant, where it's just like robotic. He's going to put up his numbers. Now, things went south on Bryant, but there's that similarity. Nothing bothered them in the box. the previous at-bat didn't bother them. They just continue to put up numbers. And how he's kind of shrunk the strike zone the last couple of years, in other words, just swinging at good pitches, has been amazing. So much easier said than done. But he's been everything you could have hoped for. And, as Counsell said, in a contract year, he's having a big one.
Well, Jesse, you got your ear to Major League Baseball, especially in the South. Like, if the Braves are bad, then Southern baseball doesn't matter because you're not getting that out of – Tampa's fine, but you're not getting that out of Miami. Do you think Atlanta will be sniffing around Tucker when it comes to the end of the season? Because they can't keep going like this. It's the only attraction in the summer in Atlanta. The baseball has to be good. Yeah,
Atlanta usually doesn't sign guys to – you're talking about signing Tucker, going after him?
I mean, it'd be in the conversation.
No, I don't think so. They have not. They have proven to be that let's get a guy early like Acuna for $100 million, not $400 million. Mm-hmm. They're good at signing their guys early for hometown discounts. They're not good at going out in the market. They don't outbid the Yankees and Dodgers. I don't think the Braves would be in on Tucker. They have a pretty ready-made offense. They're not having the best year, but Acuna was out and stuff. So that'd be one team I don't think would be in on Tucker, even though they're one of the big teams in Major League Baseball. They don't spend like that, though.
Any Sox news?
Well, that was kind of cool to see the strikeout, but then not so cool to see them give it up late. I got home to see that last night. They lead the league, and there's some good in this, right? But there's a lot of bad. They lead the league in one-run losses. They have 21 one-run losses, the worst winning percentage in one-run games at 5-21. But there is a world where that flips, right? Where they learn how to win and they turn some of those losses into wins. So there's a lot not to like about it, but there's something in there. Just, and they've been finishing off games better this year than last year. They just didn't do it last night. And, of course, Vinny Capra is going to go down in history with that strikeout. That was kind of cool.
You could tell his grandkids that.
Yeah, and here's what I like. And this was, and I'm thinking about PCA when I mentioned this. He's just the third player to get all 3,000 on one team, and we don't see that anymore. We don't see that. I mean, if you're a Cub fan, you want Tucker there, but you want a guy like PCA to be a Cub for life. It didn't happen, and obviously wasn't drafted. I get it, and Rizzo wasn't drafted, but it didn't happen with Bryant. It didn't happen with Baez or Rizzo. I love the fact that Clayton Kershaw has thrown every pitch for the Los Angeles Dodgers. That made it even more special last night. Maybe I'm old school that way, but I'm sure you guys feel the same way. I like the fact that you get guys that can be with one team for their entire careers. I would love to see that with PCA.
I want to go back to the All-Star break coming up. The White Sox are going to be active trying to move guys. Mike Tauchman, I'd love to see him back with the Cubs as a fourth outfielder. So do you see them moving on from Tauchman? Do you see them jumping the market a little quicker? I don't think they're going to be able to do anything with Luis Robert, which is unfortunate. Take a lottery ticket because you're not picking up his option, but I don't think you could do anything while he's on the IL. Do you see them moving any of their pitching like Adrian Hauser? Because I don't know how much you're going to get for a guy who was released by, the Cubs last August, the Orioles, the Rangers. Yes, he's pitched magnificently well for the White Sox, but you also have to protect the young arms that the White Sox have, and you need someone to eat innings in September. Is the return worth risking? Shane Smith and Sean Burke was magnificent last night for 6 innings. So where is that?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I think you go back to last year in July with Luis Robert. He had offers. He just didn't like them. And I think it's the same thing with all these guys. You listen, and if the prospect they're offering back just doesn't excite you, you say no. You say no. They're not in the desperate mode of flipping veterans like they were the last couple of years. I think he can pick and choose. I think you're right that someone has to pitch, and you can't use up your young guys too much in terms of those inning limits and things like that. So if he doesn't hear the right name back for Hauser or for Savali or Tauchman, he says no. I think he's in a better spot to do that than the last year or two. He certainly said no to the offers for Luis Robert. I think he's in the same situation. But if the Sox scouts identify a guy, and that team is willing to trade that player. That's a different story. You say yes. You don't hold on to them just to hold on to them. You trade them if you hear the right name back.
Jesse, we'll let you go because I know you're going to be with Chris Bleck today at 3 o'clock. But lastly, I'd like to ask you, the Chicago White Sox All-Star will be blank.
Yeah, I still think it's Shane Smith. This came up with Carmen and Silva yesterday. I still think it's going to be Shane Smith. It's really hard to find a hitter. Vargas has dropped off. Mike Vassell would be the only other pitcher I can think of. I mean, Hoodie, you follow it as well as anyone. Do you disagree? What do you think?
I think that's who it is. Well, Cap and I said Hauser also. But, I mean.
How many appearances? 6, 7?
I know. That's how bad it is. Well, we asked the same thing about the Rockies. We came up with a Rockies answer for you. Remember, Cap? We mentioned the Rockies guy, the high in the order. But the White Sox is just it's really difficult, unfortunately.
Well, Hoodie, you gave me a caller topic because White Sox Weekly from 5:30 to 7:30, yours truly on Saturday evening. I will be talking about who the White Sox All-Star is going to be for 2 hours.
Ron from the South Side joins us. Ron, wow. Good evening. Welcome to White Sox Weekly. All right, Jesse, I've been listening to you for 25 years, baby.
It's so good.
I think it should be Carlton Fisk.
By the way, I would like Jesse to weigh in. I listened to the very good interview. Tell Danny to hang on. Listen to the very good interview with Jason Kipnis with Sylvie and Dion. And Jason Kipnis is taking exception with you being listed as one of the more famous alums from Glenbrook North.
I know. I took some strays from Kipnis. Look, Sylvie listed me last. I can't be last on the list.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I was ahead of Chris Collins. I was behind everyone. Come on. Bad take.
Yeah. He was like, how's Jesse Rogers get on that list? I'm like, wow, that was an uncalled for shot.
Exactly. I did graduate, so I technically am allowed to be on that list. But I'm definitely last behind all those guys.
We close the chapter of the North Shore Times. And, Jesse, we appreciate the time. Enjoy your 4th of July.
Have a great weekend, boys. We'll talk next week, Monday.
All right, we'll talk to you. Hear you later.
All right. And Jesse Rogers brought to you by the fine folks over at.
That would be Atomatic. Atomatic.com. Get your air conditioning service so you're cool on these hot summer days.
Yingling, the oldest brewery in America.
Danny sent you a missive, by the way, about your shot. Telling him to hold on.
And I'm writing back to him, and he's not going to like the response.
Yeah. You tell him to hold on when we're late here. He doesn't like to hear that either. That's him knocking right now. We got to go. All right. So back after this. Hold on. Fired.
Kap and J Hood, ESPN Chicago. Chicago White Sox baseball. Do you believe?
Len Casper and Darren Jackson bring you the call of White Sox and Dodgers.
Live coverage begins tonight at 8:30 on ESPN Chicago, the home of the White Sox. Now backed by the power of the Pope.
Saving money in all Purdy tools to help you finish your next painting project. Menards carries Purdy paintbrushes, roller covers, prep tools, trays, kits, and more to help you get the job done right. Purdy brushes have been handcrafted in the USA for 100 years and are the #1 brand preferred by professionals. Save big on Purdy painting tools, and don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey friends, it's your buddy Tom Waddle, and I drive a Hawk. The 4th of July weekend sales event is going on now at all 12 Hawk Auto locations. Forest Park, St. Charles, Plainfield, Joliet, Carroll Stream, and now LaSalle, Peru. Shop thousands of vehicles from 13 big brands. Save with 0% financing for 72 months or no payments for 90 days. That's 0% or no payments till October. Find your next car this 4th of July weekend at hawkauto.com.
HawkAuto.com.
$13.89 per month per thousand finance on select models with approved credit.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously. Really?
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Payout via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Scam likely calling me again, Jay Moore. It is amazing. 5 times a day. Why does she keep calling me? I'm not interested. Just 3 games to settle the entire LIV Golf season, and it begins in Bolingbrook August 8th through the 10th. DeChambeau, Rahm, Koepka, and more up close and personal and locked in. With special guest Good Charlotte providing the soundtrack. Get your tickets now at livegolf.com, livegolf.com. Jay Moore.
If you missed something, get the podcast on the ESPN Chicago app. Kap and J Hood are back on Chicago's home for sports, ESPN Chicago.
Kap and J Hood on ESPN 1000 and streaming on the ESPN Chicago app. We're with you until 10 o'clock. Then it's Clinton and Friends at 10, followed by Pat the Designer and Jason McKie from 12 to 3. Then Jesse and Bleck from 3 to 6:30. Into White Sox baseball as the Sox take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. 8:30 pregame with AI Jack. No human there, just the computer. Right here on the home of the White Sox, ESPN 1000. Well, I mean, don't have to pay the computer. Just put him in there. Just let him talk about the White Sox.
By the way, can I take a shot at somebody?
Well, how's that any different than any other day on the show?
Quentin Berry is in my crosshairs, the Cubs' third base coach.
You saw the
How many guys have we had thrown out at the plate? And then PCA, Quentin Berry was like in Winnetka when he came around third. He's all the way, well, I guess he'd be south. He was like in South Shore. I'm like, dude, get up near the bag where he can see you. Out. And I'm like, what is going on there?
So you saw the wide angle of PCA going around third in yesterday's game.
Yeah, I went back and looked at it at break.
Was he waving him or no?
It's hard to tell the way the camera cuts. I think he was just down there and at the last minute put up his stop sign. But come on, man. We can't have guys throwing out at third base, a catcher trying to score. Like, we got to be better. We had Happ throwing out at the plate, and while I thought maybe he was safe, we had other ones where guys are out by 10 feet. What is going on over there?
That's the upgrade you're going to make in the offseason, Cap. And you don't want that to be a playoff scenario where Barry's – and, again, we talked about him way too much now for him not to be a factor sometimes negatively. So I get it. I get it.
So let's clean that up, Quentin.
Sidebar, may I approach?
Brought to you by Ankin Law, 312-6 million for the single best personal injury attorney in Illinois, the great Howard Ankin.
Sound my ball. Cap, you have a story here about not Winnetka, but Lake Bluff.
I do. So Sylvie talked about this yesterday on the show, but now the city in our area has been identified nationally. I mean, it's everywhere. The youth baseball coaches from Lake Bluff. That Little League, Johnny, has been around for 70 years. Well, two of the coaches, their names are not being released yet, were coaching out in Cooperstown where they have these great Little League tournaments. And the coaches decided to go naked, streaking. And there were the under 12 Little League players saw them. They were out there. Like you hear one of the kids on the video, oh my God, this is like a 11 or 12-year-old. What the hell's going on? Is he naked? These coaches are naked, running around from the Lake Bluff Little League. They have now been fired, but now the police are involved. There's an investigation in the matter. Like, what is with the willingness to want to take your clothes off? I don't get it. I don't. And I'm somebody who all in that if I'm home by myself and I don't have my clothes on, whatever, nobody's around. In a Little League tournament, I don't get it.
They're running around naked because why?
They must have had something to drink, I would think. If they didn't, then they're really idiots. But you're at a Little League tournament where you're responsible for under 12-year-old kids. There shouldn't be alcohol going on, even when the kids go to bed. But to run around streaking, I don't get it. I really don't.
Like old school.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. It's old school, only those were college kids that were out having a good time, and it happened to be, what was his name in the movie? Frank the Tank.
Yeah, Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank.
Yeah.
He's a married man, and he was letting his hair down and drinking from the beer bong. But this is at a Little League tournament.
That's really bad.
What is going on in Lake Bluff?
I'm perplexed by that. Those people should be under the jail. It's not just a bad decision. It's just like there's kids there. There's kids there. I mean, you want to do that with other adults and you think that that's cool, that's fine. I would never do that, be flopping around there. I wouldn't do that. But the idea that there's kids there and seeing you naked, you think kids want to see that? It's not an episode. This is not the movie Airplane. No one wants to see a grown man naked.
Yeah. I don't understand like the fascination with the public nakedness. Now, Sylvie said he sleeps in, I think he said shorts and a T-shirt, or Carm said he's only in just like boxers.
Yeah.
And Sylvie said, Kap sleeps naked. I don't understand that. Yeah, but guess what? I'm with my wife, and my kids aren't around. They don't live at home anymore. I'm not out at a Little League tournament in a park in Deerfield running around naked. I don't get it.
That's bad. No, I wouldn't do it either. Absolutely not.
Brother.
Well, no, absolutely that would not happen.
No, it wasn't.
One of the coaches, bearing it all, slides head first into home plate as stunned children laugh.
So did they think that they were not being seen by anybody? Because my niece has been to this Cooperstown tournament, and my nephew's about to go in about 2 weeks. And so they do this all summer, and I'm pretty sure like it's dorms, similar to Williamsport, where these kids can see from their dorms.
I don't know. My kids never played in this tournament. Has Danny been out there? I know he just did a tournament with his son Avery in Tennessee, which is a big complex. But this Cooperstown one, I don't know if Danny's coached in that one or not. But we have a billion Little League coaches in our area listening to our show. I'd like to know, are the dorms like right there? I only see the picture of the naked man sliding headfirst into home plate. You can't tell me he wasn't wasted. You can't tell me that.
I mean, it clearly had to be wasted. He didn't feel that the rough of that across his penis. I mean, could you imagine? See?
I don't know.
I mean, the dirt across the, I just don't understand
Honey,
that.
I thought you were coaching a Little League tournament.
I am.
Why are you all scuffed down there?
Wow, I was bringing the runner around third, if you pardon the expression.
I was teaching sliding to the kids.
Yeah, I think there should be some kind of action, especially with kids watching. Minors.
These guys did it. These guys did it, man.
Hey, minor, and a whole bunch of minors watching that. I don't think that's a good idea.
It's a great slide, the best slide.
Oh my God! Don't have him out there. Nothing wrong with being naked. I've always thought it's okay. Little kids.
These guys did it, man.
Disgusting. The Kap and J Hood cut of the day is next on Chicago's Home for Sports.
This is your morning routine. Yeah. Kap and J Hood.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
On ESPN Chicago.
Saturdays on ESPN Chicago. Join me, Peggy Kaczynski.
And me, Dion Miller, for the cleverly named Peggy and Dion.
Of course, we are always talking about the saga of Chicago sports.
And occasionally, we may dive into other areas of interest. So join us Saturday morning at 11.
Peggy and Dion on ESPN Chicago. Brought to you by Advantage Acura of Naperville.
If you're looking to level up your finances or finally make that move into home ownership, listen up. NHS Chicago is offering next-level classes. They're free, expert-led workshops that help you go beyond the basics. We're talking about building your credit, understanding estate planning, real estate investing, and how you can take care of your home like a pro. Here's the real part. My mother-in-law, she actually used NHS Chicago when she bought her first home, made all the difference in the world. Unsure about the process, came out confident and prepared because NHS has the tools and knowledge to make it happen. Here's the website. It's nhschicago.org/education, nhschicago.org/education, or call this number, 773-329-4111 to register. nhschicago.org/education. NHS Chicago, rooted in neighborhoods, investing in people that help my family, that can help yours too. Jay Moore.
Chicago, this is your chance to see the Premier League live. The Premier League Summer Series is coming to town and features two incredible matchups. Everton versus West Ham United, followed by Manchester United versus Bournemouth. It's the only international soccer event in Chicago this summer. Don't miss out. Wednesday night, July 30th, Soldier Field. Two matches, one ticket. Grab yours now at Ticketmaster.com.
The Nissan No-Hitter is back on the White Sox Radio Network. Head to NissanNoHitter.com to enter, and if the Sox throw a no-hitter this season, you could drive away in a brand new 2025 Nissan Rogue. Presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Nissan dealers.
You've got stuff you've collected, and you want to know what it's worth. ESPN Chicago suggests you tune in Saturday mornings at 7. It's Sports Collecting with Tom Morgan, brought to you by Huggins & Scott Auctions, ERC Delivery, and REA.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text HOT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text HOT to 42424. That's HOT to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Exosomes, the newest scientific non-surgical advancement in treatments for thinning hair. I'm Dr. Yates, and we're excited to add exosomes to the options you have for treating your thinning hair. Make an appointment and learn more at DrYatesHairScience.com.
Kap and J Hood are back on ESPN Chicago.
Now time for the Kap and J Hood cut of the day.
Chicago Cut Steakhouse on LaSalle, north side of the Chicago River. Gorgeous holiday weekend. Please take advantage of that patio because it's spectacular, Jay Moore.
Yo. Yes, it's boring, but it's a sport. Oh! Whatever. It's not boring. Okay, then you're boring.
All right, cut.
Time for Deal Breakers here on Kap and J Hood. And of course, Kap Deal Breakers is brought to you by...
Here is Jake.
Wait a minute.
Get to work, Keith.
Brought to you by No One at the Moment. Here's Jacob
Such
Santos.
great real estate. Come on, Keith. Let's go.
You're right about that, buddy.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and tie this into the 4th of July here with these first two stories. Also, they are personable to me. So let's start here. Every year.
Oh, my God.
Hold
on. Coughing into the mic.
Yeah, rookie.
Craig Counsell producing the
My
show this
God.
morning.
Kind of professional. Just every year. Damn it.
Whether it's that or not waiting for my introduction, I apologize.
And that's all, folks.
We're pounding the table.
The Kap J Hood cut of the day.
Brought to you by David Flom and Matt Moore's Chicago Cut Steakhouse.
Miss Stan from Florida. He doesn't call anymore after he came on with that. Cap, let me just tell you, there's nothing like the 4th of July, my friend. And so Shay brought this up. He says, out of all the holidays, the 4th of July seems like it's the least stress. Is that fair to say? There's no presents for 4th of July that you give, do you?
No, there's no presents, and I love the 4th of July. Danny, not so much because he thinks summer ends after the 4th of July, which it doesn't. I love it because you're right. There's no, what are we serving for Thanksgiving? How many people? Like 4th of July, man, we just chill, and hopefully the weather's gorgeous.
That's what I'm going to do. A lot of deck and patio sitting, having a few adult beverages, and sit back and watch some baseball. And fireworks, of course.
Yep, I'll be there's like a band playing in our neighborhood tonight, like a local little band. We're going to go there, come back, watch the Cubs and the Guardians, then the White Sox and the Dodgers. Just chill, man.
What channel is the Cubs game on tomorrow, Cap?
Tomorrow's Apple TV, I believe.
Okay, just want to make sure that you know. I don't want you calling me.
I'm locked in. Already got it all set. I checked the TV last night. I went, okay, we're good. So we're ready to go.
Your team, man, you have a week of national exposure. I don't think I've seen that before. Maybe Red Sox, Yankees.
Right,
sometimes.
TBS to ESPN to Apple TV
You got FS1
to Sunday
tonight.
Night Baseball. I think it's Saturday Fox.
Yeah, I believe so, but you're the FS1 Thursday night game of the week tonight.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so that's just it just shows you everyone's now woke, you could say, about the Chicago National League Ball Club.
Yes, they're learning. Pedro Martinez is tweeting about him.
How could you? By the way, he's a TBS analyst, and he just woke up one day and goes, the Cubs are good. No,
I didn't know the Cubs had this. We're back.
Have you not been watching?
Must-see television.
I mean, come on, Pedro.
It's super cool.
July.
Man.
He just realized, you know what? I thought they'd struggle without Bellinger. What?
Guess what? Pretty good, kid. Pretty
it does
good.
Feel good to have a team in Chicago that is winning.
It does.
We've been in the putts for a long time.
Yeah, and now just find a way to go get what you need to take a shot to win a World Series. Let's go.
We thank you for listening and calling in and being part of the program here on Kap and J Hood. Our thanks to you for listening. Our thanks to Jake and Jay Moore on the other side of the glass. Well, Cap, I hope you and yours have a great 4th and a great weekend.
You too, my man. Love you. Love being your partner. And better, I love being your friend.
All of
you
the
too,
above.
Jay Moore.
And also Jay Moore, yes.
Love you too, Cap.
And love you too. And what about Shay?
Love you too, Shay.
Love you too, Shay.
Love you too, Hoodie.
I hate everybody. So long, everybody.
Thanks, Shay.
Love you, Jake.
Take that.
From Chicago. Well, see you next week.
Who are you talking to? As a business owner, putting hard-earned dollars into advertising, that question is everything. So who are you talking to? How about a very loyal fan base of a great Chicago team?